Williams off. I wanted to leave Caleb Williams off, but I didn't want to look like an idiot forever on this graphic, so I threw him in there 5th, though, for Caleb Williams, because I worry about Caleb Williams and all the interviews that he's doing. He doesn't seem like he is he's bought in. I keep hearing him compared to a poor man's Russell Wilson mentally.
Well, Ryan Poles, your general manager for Chicago Bears, Kevin Warren, they've done a deep dive, and they think the Hollywood thing's been blown out of proportion. Look, I mean, I don't know what he couldn't have done. I mean, they were losing games 42-41.
I know.
I'm pulling for Caleb Williams. I know a lot of people don't like Caleb Williams. I hope he has a lot of success, but Bears quarterbacks, for whatever reason, just haven't had success.
Okay, Brownie, let's see yours here.
All right, I am going to go with Brock Bowers as well. Lance said a lot about him. Roma Dunze, you said a lot about him. I got Terrion Arnold in my top 5. He's considered by many to be the best corner in this draft. He's got great man coverage skills, which you're asked to do a lot of if you're the number 1 corner on a team in the NFL. So I like Terrion Arnold, and of course we cheer for him on this show. We love Terrion. Jaden Daniels, I think, is the best quarterback, and then neither one of you had Byron Murphy.
Oh, so close.
Yeah,
great pick.
Really, Pro Football Focus ranked him as the 2nd best interior defender in all of college football last year, and that has become such a critical piece in NFL defenses. All of this is team dependent on where some of these guys land. I think Byron Murphy can have a massive career in the NFL.
We all had one guy, and he is done for.
Brock Bowers?
No, we all had Jaden Daniels.
Oh, did we really?
Yep.
That's the only one we had all on there.
Yeah, it's a problem for Jaden.
So you don't think he has a great career?
I still think
Again, it's team dependent.
Nobody
man.
saved the graphic by not taking him.
Now, are we going to do our draft steals tomorrow?
Yeah.
I sent little T3.
3
already.
draft steals. Okay. I'll send 3 as well at some point. Maybe we'll do them tomorrow or Friday. You said something about Friday. Whenever she gets the graphic ready, and then Forrester lets me know that the graphic's ready, then it'll make it on the show.
Is that the way that's going to go?
It'll make it on the show.
We do that via text or hand signals?
As soon as 2 people force feed me information, then it'll make it on the show. It's the way it works every day right here on the old Next Round. All right. Thank you for being with us today. Specialty show tomorrow at Twin Peaks for the NFL Draft at Barber Motorsports Park on Friday. But our normal show rolls again at 9 a.m. Central Time tomorrow. Set alerts because we've got the Meltdown at 2 Central today, every day 2 Central on this platform. A new Uncorked is coming out soon, and Emily Gray starting her Braves podcast, episode 1, very soon as well. You don't get any of that stuff if your alerts are not set. Set the alerts, follow, subscribe, give us a thumbs up on any of our social media platforms at Next Round Live. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live daily show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting nextround.store.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com. Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, it's the day when our college stars make the move to the NFL. Round 1 NFL draft in Detroit, Michigan going tonight. We'll get to that coming up. At least you and I have some team gear on.
Yeah, hey, cringy commercials from ESPN, though, with Roger Goodell and Eminem.
Yeah. Eminem
Cringy.
joking that, am I being punked right now? Am I? The outtakes have been funny, too.
I just don't understand how they try so hard.
Dunaway was starting the show with a shot at me there before you went
I
to the
know.
cringy thing.
Yeah.
Well, you could probably have a golf day plan.
I would if we didn't have the extra show there at Twin Peaks. I'll go get my gear on for that. Will that make you happy, Jim?
Oh, I was going to take my gear off for that.
That makes a lot of sense.
We'll be at Twin Peaks out in Hoover, 4:30 to 6 tonight, specialty show.
I
Yeah, join us for that.
absolutely love the NFL draft. Going back to when it used to be during the week in the morning, I would get checked out of school. True story, back in the early 80s, and I would go home and I would watch every single pick. Absolutely loved it. And for the first time since 2016, the Rams have a first round draft.
Welcome to the first round.
Now, here's the bad thing. I've been looking at the props over the last 24 hours, first round draft props, and I was going to post some on Lance's Lock today. They got pulled overnight. And one of the things I was looking at, I was going to take over the 20.5 offensive players. I was also going to take over the 5.5 quarterbacks because people always reach. I do think Penix and Nix are going to go in the first round.
Oh, you think Nix ends up
Well,
going first round?
I've got his odds right here. I was just telling Dunaway from mybookie.ag. This is where it is. You right? Were you saving this for something?
No, let's go.
I would say they're plus 125.
Well, no. Here's his draft position odds. These are draft positions.
Okay. I would think it's 30.5.
32.5. So there's your number, Lance. 32.5 for Nix.
I think there has been some information that has been leaked. Just my belief, because most of these props, they got pulled overnight. And now Field Yates put in his final mock draft this morning. Oh, my God. He's got Nix going 19th overall.
To the Rams?
To the Rams.
Yeah,
I don't want that to happen.
there's
You know
so
why,
much-
right?
why?
Les Snead, 1993, graduate assistant
I
at
know.
Auburn, quarterback at Auburn then, Patrick Nix, Bo's dad.
Boy, if that's why he's making that pick.
That ain't- yeah.
that ain't why he's
Just
making
telling
that
there's a
pick.
tie there.
There's a tie, but that's not why he's making the pick.
Yesterday it was Harry's Bar, right?
Yeah, Harry's Bar reporting. What are we reporting now?
Can I get the new command center shot here? The social media command center.
Look at
There's
little T.
There's little T there working.
Little
Working there in the command center. From Harry's Bar. From Harry's Bar yesterday. Grant Nelson coming back to Alabama.
Right.
We have yet to confirm that. But from little T's family, who lives in Michigan, on a flight from Detroit to Birmingham was Bo Nix. So he had made one last trip up there to talk to some NFL folks who are gathering draft side.
Yeah, look, I mean, Bo, I think he's going to be able to play in the league. I just don't see him as a franchise quarterback. I think it's going to be a reach. I think Les Snead has got really a good eye at evaluating talent, especially in the later rounds. So we'll see what happens here. But I do believe 6 quarterbacks are going to go in the first round. I think you're going to see a flurry of I know you're going to see 4 in the top 5 picks, and there's a chance you see 5 in the top 10.
Penix, 32.5 as well.
I would definitely take that under.
That's his mybookie.ag odds, over under 32. Now, the under is minus 330. The over is plus 255.
Yeah.
So
That should fly under. I mean, I would start debating whether Penix makes it out of the top 12, top 14.
Well, I know
with
there's
people trading
teams
up.
like the Rams and the Raiders that really like Penix. And then you go back, Antonio Pierce, his days as defensive coordinator at Arizona State. He loves Jaden Daniels. I'm looking at right now, should the Raiders straight up and draft Jaden Daniels? I mean, it's going to be really fascinating. It seemed yesterday, I was very confident, like, I can get the first 6 or 7 picks right. I don't know if that's going to happen now.
the trades throw it all off. Yeah.
People will be jumping up there. We've got 1,000 things we're going to talk about the draft and our college stars moving on throughout. But we'll get to our lead story right after I tell you about our friends at Precision Sports. Precision Sports will get you back in the game, as so many times in life, injuries happen. Whether you're playing or working, you got to eventually go back out and earn the bacon, right? That's what Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics do. They take care of great athletes in the area, but they'll take care of you too. 512-3885, 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024, part of the Brookwood Baptist Health family. Orthopedic care better together. Why not do it with the best? That's our friends at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Tweaked back, playing with the kids, or pulled something while you're working on that lawn, everything in between, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Big day in the portal yesterday. Let's go with the guys coming in to the SEC. Auburn got a veteran wide receiver in Keandre Lambert-Smith, 6'1", 190. Was going to be the guy. He was going to be returning to the Big Ten. If he'd returned to the Big Ten, he'd have the most starts of anybody in the Big Ten at that position if he had come back to the Big Ten. But he's not. He's on his way to the SEC. A 38-game starter. Last year emerged as the number one receiver for Penn State. 673 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns, got 11 touchdowns. A lot of young talent in that Auburn receiving room. They needed a veteran, and they got it in what was called the best wide receiver available in the portal.
Well, and Keandre, he's a bigger body, too. He's 6'1", 190 pounds. As you said, he's got a ton of experience, and this is a guy that can really help the development of a Cam Coleman. So I think, playmakers, to me, by far the biggest need for this Auburn offense. And now the question is going to become, because I do think you've got playmakers, but can Peyton Thorne become really consistent at the quarterback position?
Well, you've given him all the parts he needs at receiver now. Assuming these young guys, when you talk about it being the highest-rated receiving class, which is what Auburn said yesterday, highest-rated receiving class, I think in college football history or something like that. I've got the stat here. Those are still young guys, right? And not Lambert Smith. This guy's, he's played for 3 years now.
That's what you needed, that veteran that you could count on. And you knew what was going to do it, and maybe somebody to mentor those young guys.
Yeah, so he's not that, but some of these guys are young. So the Freeze 5, they were the Freeze 4 until he came in. The Freeze 5, the highest-rated wide receiver class in the history of college football from Auburn. That's what Auburn sent out yesterday.
Okay,
so the highest rated. Let that sink in for a second.
But that's just freshmen coming in, right?
Well, that's freshmen plus
plus Robert Lewis, who's coming in from Georgia State.
Well, they include Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, Malcolm Simmons, Ryan Williams, and Bryce Kane.
So those are freshmen.
Yeah, that's the Freeze 5. So and now you add
you've got Robert Lewis, who is a veteran, had almost 1,000 yards last year for Georgia State. And now you got Keandre, and as you mentioned, would have had the most starts coming back in the Big Ten. So, you've got a plethora of wide receivers now.
673 yards and 4 touchdowns. It's not like he tore it up at Penn State, but that's also not a prolific offense.
Well, and you were a first-year starting quarterback, too, and Drew Aller.
Yeah, so, I think this is a guy, like you said, Jim, good veteran addition for some of these young receivers to bring them along. Hugh Free's got a ton of options at wide receiver right now. Ton of options. If any of these freshmen can live up to their potential, they will be loaded at wide receiver.
Another thing I like about Keandre Lambert-Smith, other than it's a lot of letters put on the back of your jersey, they didn't have to do that, by the way, at Penn State. They didn't have their names on the back of their jerseys. They'll have to do that. Lambert-Smith will throw on the back of the jersey there at Auburn.
You know how I feel about the hyphenated names. But
yeah. But anyway, he is his uncle. He comes from a football family. His uncle, Cam Chancellor. Remember him with the Seahawks?
Oh, yeah.
That was his. That's his uncle. So he's got football in his blood at the next level. That's a veteran who's now with Auburn. Across the state, we had
real quick, I had one bold prediction earlier. Colorado 1-11. Second bold prediction: Peyton Thorne is this year's Joe Burrow. I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there a drum?
No, that was a joke.
Yeah.
A drum?
Yeah.
Rim shot.
Rim shot. Well, that's on a drum, right?
It is.
Don't think like I didn't say trombone, and you're like rim shot. Yeah. So you're joking about that for everyone in the chat room. Okay.
We're pulling for Peyton though.
Yeah, because
friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Now.
I like Peyton. I want to see him do it.
I do too.
He's giving us. I like Peyton and Milroe.
He's got every opportunity.
How about 2 best quarterbacks in America?
Okay. Flip side.
Yeah.
Across the state, James Brockermeyer, the talk of camp at Alabama because he got so many first team reps into the portal. He's leaving. Alabama center James Brockermeyer entered the transfer portal yesterday. And if you're not paying attention, which sometimes I don't do, he has a do not contact tag. He basically hung that little thing out of his transfer portal door that says do not disturb, which tells you he knows where he's going next, James Brockermeyer. But he got all the reps, and I gave an instant reaction on our platform to this news yesterday.
I got a text from Matt Mosley about your post too.
And instantly, I was like, Parker Brailsford.
I like Mosley.
He must be absolutely back. The coaching staff must feel 100% guaranteed here that he's back, or they wouldn't let Brockermeyer walk out the door.
Well, I thought it was kind of funny that, and I know Brockermeyer was a 5-star guy coming out, but everybody was like, Brockermeyer's beating him out. Brailsford is going to be an All-American coming into the season. He was that good last year. Brockermeyer wasn't winning this, and when he found out that Brailsford was coming back, that's why he's in the portal.
Yeah, he's going for playing time is what I said.
Yeah.
What did Mosley say from Wacko?
I will read you the quote from our friend Matt Mosley out of Waco, Texas. Mosley,
if you're not familiar with him, he comes on the show. He does a Cowboy podcast. He's a Baylor grad, part of the Baylor broadcast team. Uber talented and the driest sense of humor you'll ever get, but funniest crap.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I love the extreme close-up. And then he had the attachment. I didn't know you had posted this, and I hit it, and it is one of the closest ups you'll ever see.
Well, I will tell you that when you're doing those videos on the move for Little T,
you don't have the wingspan.
My close up is only as far as my arm will go.
You could do that 1.5 or 2. What is it? Where
It's
you
a
do
0.5.
It's a 0.5, but then it makes your arm look all kind of out of whack.
Do you not? I would think you would have gotten a selfie stick about a decade ago.
I had one a decade ago,
Yeah.
but they're not in now. The extreme close up. I thought Mosley was going to be. Does Mosley not think I'm an attractive young man?
I really didn't ask him that.
Look,
but-
I mean that's
Extreme close up.
that's
what Mosley said.
I mean that's tits up.
What?
Yeah, it's right there from the bits up.
Oh,
I mean, that is an extreme close-up, right?
Yeah,
it is. It is an extreme close up. To Dunaway's point, his arm is only so long.
Where were you there?
It's right outside the house. Yeah, right out of the car. I told Little T I'd pull over real quick and do it. So I pulled over real quick and did it. Shot it out to her. Got everything in there. So
Hey, Mosley's watching.
Yeah, thank you, Mosley. Appreciate that. Yo, he comments a lot.
I love me some Mosley.
And always a dry shot usually.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always funny, too.
Yeah. I
Just
appreciate
remind him
it.
of Dave Bliss anytime anything comes up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Art Briles and Dave Bliss.
Seems like a deep shot at Mosley.
Well, I mean, that stops everything.
Yeah.
I watched this documentary on Netflix about this volcano that explodes in New Zealand. I don't know if anybody's seen it. Leonardo DiCaprio was one of the producers on it. It's really good, but it's not funny. But this one girl, they're on their honeymoon, and she's like, I don't want to go to the volcano. Like, I'm not adventurous. I want to lay on the beach. And the husband begs. And they go, and of course, the volcano explodes, and 90% of their bodies burn. And I was talking to Maddie. I was like, anytime they get in an argument for the rest of their lives, all she's got to say is volcano, and he's done. Like, he can't argue that, right?
No, you're absolutely right.
Like,
Yeah,
I didn't want to go to the volcano.
Yeah,
My
that was
ass
your
is
idea.
burned head to toe now because of you.
It's your
Because
idea.
of you.
Yeah.
Because of you.
Can I clean up something I said earlier? I was very confusing in the way I said it, and they're killing me in the chat room on it. I did not intend to say Ryan Williams went to Auburn. Obviously, I know he went to Alabama. Shout out Roll Tide Willie. I was saying from the highest rated recruiting class of all time, or wide receiver recruiting class of all time, which I think was what 24/7 rated it. I was mentioning the guys they got from there: Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson,
okay,
those guys.
so
Yeah,
I
was mentioning the receivers and meant to say that they got all those guys, but I got sidetracked. That's all.
Okay, just to clarify here. Are they saying that Auburn's class is the greatest wide receiver class of
they're
all
saying
time?
from the greatest wide receiver
Okay.
class, they got those guys.
Okay.
Cam Coleman, Bryce
Okay,
Kane, Perry
yeah.
Thompson.
I was confused.
Because I was
too.
trying
know.
not to be Jimmy
Yeah.
Bammer and
I
throwing in
know. I
Devontae
know.
Smith in that class or any of them.
No. I was from what some services rated as the highest rated
Okay.
recruiting class
So
of all time.
all the receivers in America was the highest rated
according to
wide
that
receivers
service.
ever. Right.
Okay,
And
I was
Auburn
confused
was
then.
saying they got those guys. It
And
was
Auburn got a
confusing
few-
because I didn't present it well, and as you've noticed,
Yeah.
sometimes we get sidetracked on this show, and I got sidetracked when Lance said,
Yeah.
wait a minute, is it included? And then I started down that road, and I forgot to wash it, clean it all up. That is 100% on me.
Because it came off like you were saying Auburn recruited
No,
the
no, no,
greatest
no.
class in the
Nope,
history of
nope,
receivers. And I was going to fact check that in the commercial break and then clap back.
From what
Yeah.
one service said was the highest rated receiving class they'd ever had, they got these guys.
Okay.
You know,
So-
Bryce Kane, Perry Thompson,
Yeah.
Cam Coleman, and those guys.
So the harvest
that's on
was
me.
the harvest was fruitful, and Auburn got a basket of receivers.
Correct.
Put it this way: if we were going back 20 years ago to ESPN's dream job, Brown would have just got bounced.
Yeah.
Because whoever's on that panel would have been like, "Your facts, we've checked them; they're not right. First thing you've got to do is get facts."
Well, I'd like for you both to know if we were on that show, we wouldn't have a show right now. We'd all been bounced at some point. Wow. I'm not even joking. Y'all aren't even
Is that a joke too?
No, it's not a joke. I think we've all gotten facts wrong, haven't we?
Oh, yeah, every day.
Yeah.
I don't come on here and say Auburn's got the greatest wide receiver recruiting class ever.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was right, but I really didn't care. So.
From that class, that's who Auburn has.
Yeah, from that class.
They could end up being the greatest class of
could
all
be.
time.
Good. You never know.
Especially if
Peyton Thorne's Joe Burrow.
Peyton Thorne's Joe Burrow, which was a joke earlier, right?
Yeah. I mean,
You never know. Because y'all didn't think Joe Burrow
I did
was
not
going to be
think Joe Burrow was Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but I did think Joe Burrow, again, Peyton, we love you, friend of the show. I thought Burrow was better coming into that season than Peyton is. Because I think Brown and I.
But you didn't think Burrow was any good.
No, I think you and I called him a solid quarterback.
Yeah. Game manager, solid. He's probably
Solid quarterback.
He's not going to get you beat most games, but it's not like he's going to go out and win the Heisman. I thought it's probably a quote I said there, Jim.
Yeah, I will tell you this. The draft will be fun tonight. The portal has been entertaining. Off of Harry's Bar report on Grant Nelson, nothing new on that yesterday. Nothing new official on that, right?
Taylor from the command center, did Grant Nelson ever respond to your DM?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Little delay in there. We'll wait for the reaction. Did Grant Nelson ever respond to your DM? And now is going to be her answer.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
I've got
timed out the delay just
I've got
right.
the delay down. It was pretty good. We may need to get her a straight wire feed there if we're going to get reaction from the command center.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe not that door handle.
Was this a Dunaway idea? What reaction from the command center?
That has got to be a Dunaway with the camera in there, 100%.
No, there's no camera in there. It's my close-up.
Yeah. Was that a Dunaway idea? Just
See.
take my close-up away and give it a little T.
Giver.
I'm an ugly guy.
I'm a giver.
Just give a little T.
That
to my
was the
close-up.
quote.
Nobody wants to see my close-up.
Everybody would love to see Taylor more than me.
That's right. Oh, yeah, we could do both. It's like it's basketball season now. They're on the road together again.
No, this is the YouTube quad box.
Uncorked. Uncorked, unhinged. Uncorked, unhinged. Uncorked, unhinged.
Oh, by the way, I'm guesting on Uncorked tonight.
Are you really?
Yeah.
How about that? What is the topic?
I really don't know. Lil T said she's got something good for me, so
Okay.
excited about that. We're going to be out live at Twin Peaks tonight.
so
for the
y'all are
draft
going to do
coverage.
it from Twin Peaks?
I think we're going to do it either before or after. It depends. I'm going to see our friends at Hydra Live, and kind of a busy, chaotic day, but it might be before, it might be after, but looking forward to it.
All right.
Okay. A lot of people want to know where Brockermeyer is headed to. Where do you guys think Brockermeyer ends up going?
His brother went TCU, right?
His brother's at TCU.
Yeah.
I was going to say Texas.
Do they have a center problem at Texas?
I doubt it, but
He is.
I guess he is all about playing time. So
His family is. His dad's a Texas player, former Texas player. It was a big get for Alabama to get the Twins instead of Texas back in the day. The brother has transferred out, so he is there at TCU, according to Brown. There, I had not fact checked that one yet, Brown, but I'm going to trust you that
Okay,
the
we're
other
going to do this the whole
Brockermeyer's
show,
there.
Jim?
No, I mean, that would be
Is that the
something
only time you're gonna
cool
do it?
playing with
Saying,
your,
I haven't checked that.
Yeah.
cool, playing with your brother, and TCU is not a bad option.
Yeah, they were together at Alabama for a while, and we know TCU 2 years ago was in the national championship. They fell off a lot last year.
And now people are saying his brother medically retired at TCU.
That's right. See, told you. It's at TCU.
Yeah, medically retired. But the bottom line of that is Parker Brailsford. And I did say, I thought that was going to be the joke from Mosley, is that I mentioned you in that video where you have tabbed him as a preseason All-American. You think that's how good Brailsford is.
I think he's incredible. He's a little undersized, and you kind of wonder what the hiccup was in the offseason and why he wasn't participating, because he was 100% healthy. He was still working out. He just was away from football activities, and, there's different rumors out there that maybe he thought about giving up the game of football. But if he's all in and he's 100% focused, he is one of the best centers in college football, no doubt.
Yeah, so when he gets back and the coaching staff believes he'll be there, is on the show, you heard Kalen DeBoer talk at length about Parker not doing anything wrong, no rule violations, excused absence from spring as he got some things going in his life in a different direction, a better direction, or just clean some stuff up, I think is the wording that was used there. They have always thought Parker Brailsford would be back in time for fall camp and would be a part of this team. It looks that way today with James Brockermeyer in the portal.
I had a dream about Alabama's first game last night.
Oh, against Western Kentucky.
Against Western Kentucky, yeah.
First of all, they win.
Yes, they did. If they don't win against Western Kentucky, something's going horribly wrong.
That was Gene Stallings' advice to new coach Kalen DeBoer. Would advise him not to lose his first 3 games like
Dude,
I did.
My dream was the weirdest dream ever last night.
Well, this one was pretty weird. So, first of all, I'm on the field for Alabama-Western Kentucky, which I wouldn't be called dead at an Alabama-Western Kentucky game, so I don't know why I was on the field. And Kalen DeBoer had asked me to hold his cell phone during the game. Kalen DeBoer won't hold his cell phone. So I'm just standing on the field holding Kalen DeBoer's cell phone. And A, it's an Android. I don't know why that was important in my dream, but it was not an iPhone. It was an Android. And B, like it's buzzing the whole game. And I have this moral debate in my head. Do I look at the text or not look at the text, right? I mean, he's asked me to hold his phone and it's buzzing and the text pops up. And I'm like, should I look at the text or not, right? I mean,
I would say yes.
Oh, would you?
I would say, yeah. I mean, maybe Coach, you got to call me now. Hey, you keep getting this
during
text.
the game. I mean, he's not going to call anybody during the game. So that was my dream. Alabama wins. They beat Western Kentucky.
That's good.
I'm on the field, and I'm holding Kalen DeBoer's cell phone. Dream made no sense whatsoever.
My dream, I didn't go to bed till midnight. Ex-brother-in-law was in town on a date, so we hung out a little bit after trivia.
Just break that sentence down. Ex-brother-in-law is in town on a date, so we stayed up to midnight.
Max, great dude. Really cute girl from Tuscaloosa that he's been seeing a little bit.
Oh, good for him.
Anyway, I was out a little late last night, so my dream, I'm on an elevator. It's a bigger elevator, and Matt Damon is in the elevator, and I didn't realize it was Matt Damon. He's dressed up really, really nice, and he backs into me, and I thought they were filming, so I thought it would be a good idea to kind of bow up on him. Well, he pulls out a straight blade like he's going to cut me, and it kind of gets
Matt Damon?
Yeah, Matt Damon. Very strange.
Matt Damon going to cut.
We get separated, and then my buddy says, he's connected to the Gambino crime family.
Oh, Damon is?
Yeah. And I was like,
knows
"Damn."
that.
I never knew that.
Everybody knows that.
We're in the Bellagio, and so I tell him, I was like, hey, sorry about that, man. You look great. I love this get up that you got on. And he gets out of the elevator and walks on. So I get out of the elevator a little bit, and all of this stuff starts coming down. I don't know. It was like everything was falling.
Yeah. And then he turned around and said, how do you like them apples?
The next thing you know, I go to this weird room in the hotel, and then when I come out of the hotel, it is a complete shoot it up. And I get both of my hands blown off. Oh, wow. And I think I think I'm dying, and I end up on some interpass in the snow trying to get home.
With no hands.
But yeah, it was
so you can't hitchhike because you don't have any hands.
Yeah.
Today's Lance's Lock, yes.
But Matt Damon, it was one of those, it kept coming back to dream. Like I'd get up, go to the bathroom, go back to sleep. I could pull it back. But he basically was tracking me down in the Bellagio Hotel because he's part of the Gambino crime family.
Wow. My dream last night, very short one because it was after I woke up about 4 and then I went back to sleep. So it was between the 4 and when the alarm went off. We were camping for some reason. All of us were camping.
All of us?
The 3 of us were there.
Anybody die?
Nobody died. But everyone.
It's not a good dream in Lance's case.
We were fighting.
You're the one that had somebody die up
We
here.
were fighting because
true.
we couldn't
Don't bring
start
it
a
up.
fire. And we were yelling at each other.
Oh, this goes back to the
that-
conversation from a couple of weeks ago.
That could happen. Yeah. I mean, that would 100% happen. We'd end up yelling at one another.
I don't know who's in charge of fire. If we ever go camping,
Well, I
make
don't
sure
think any
somebody's
of
in
us-
charge of fire.
I don't think any of us are a strong bet.
No,
but-
you pop the rock.
Pop
Little
the
spark.
rock.
Or
Yeah.
go with Lance.
We just need really dry.
That's the key.
Well, I think the key is that
Leaves
we
and
packed
pine
like
A lighter?
matches,
A
a
Zippo?
lighter,
Aim and flame?
and things, gas, anything to start the fire. We couldn't start the fire.
You carry the Duraflame log, okay?
Yeah. All right. When we come back, Dan Wetzel's at 10 to start hour number 2 on the NFL draft. We'll attack some of this NFL draft conversation, but obviously Keandre Lambert-Smith to Auburn, and then James Brockermeyer out, which many Alabama fans see as a great sign that Parker Brailsford is in at the center position in Alabama. Those were big portal stories yesterday. We'll talk about the NBA playoffs a little bit later on. But before we go to break the first time, hey, did you get that video I sent? God, it may have been 4 in the morning when I sent it. The freeze. I don't know if we have the video or not, or if we can use the video or not. But here it is.
Oh, is this the freeze in Atlanta?
This is him last night. That old guy, probably a 30-something-year-old dad, eventually, the freeze gets older.
Well, he's lost before, hasn't he? This
He
guy
has.
smokes him, though.
But this guy, usually about here is where you fall or
That's
you,
right, he's
you
out of
get
breath.
heavy legs.
Yeah.
Not this guy.
Uh-oh.
He's got this like he's been training to the tape. He beats the freeze.
And he even pulled up late.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the freeze gets after it, but, I mean, eventually...
No, the freeze will age out, but the thing is, you don't know who the freeze is. I know we kind of know who he is, but if you put somebody else in that get up, nobody's going to really realize that.
He had agreed to come on the show before.
The
Do you
freeze?
do you guys still want to have him on?
Yeah, I'd love
Yeah.
to.
Just we couldn't work a date out. He was willing to do it, but I don't know. He was weird about his dates and all.
I mean,
and then it got into football season.
Don't you sort of wonder if the real freeze had Wednesday off and that was somebody else?
Could have, yeah. He needed a
'Cause
vacation
that-
day.
They
was
got the
pretty
same
s-
build, though.
That was pretty slow for the freeze.
Yeah, you wonder if he's lost a step. What if they send him down to Macon?
What if he's got?
He's
what
down
if
racing guys in-
What if he owes the trademark and everything, and
can't fire him?
nobody else can be the freeze? It's him or nobody
Yeah,
else.
that'd be smart on his part. I hope he does.
Yeah. Is there a comic book character called the Freeze?
Yeah, he's in Lunsford.
give me
He's in-
Lunsford.
Lunsford. He's in the what's the family where the woman stretches and the man?
You're talking about Frozone?
Yeah.
And that's name?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
called Frozone.
Frozone from
Yeah.
The Incredibles.
He's
Yeah.
pretty much the same guy.
Samuel Jackson.
Back to
But
the
nobody
Arnold,
is called the Freeze, right?
Mr. Freeze.
Freeze, Arnold
Mr.
Schwarzenegger.
Freeze.
Back to
Yeah.
the documentary.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze.
Caleb says he thinks Racetrack may own the copyright because it is sponsored by Racetrack service stations,
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
oh, so they have the Freeze there
Yeah.
that you can drink.
Yeah, I think we're not immune to these. I think it is a marketing
You
campaign.
think the freeze could snatch a purse?
Oh, heck yeah. You'd
Yeah.
never catch him.
Yeah, you're in a Target parking lot. He snatches a purse.
You're like,
Honey, don't worry about it.
Baby, we just cancel all the cars.
gone.
We ain't never seen that one.
lineup.
Yuppie Dad chased him down last
See
night,
the
though.
police
I
line
don't
up and
think
he
he-
still got the costume on.
Flash and the freeze.
He didn't chase
Batman.
him down. Yuppie Dad was able to outlast him. He was closing quick.
Oh, yeah. Yuppie Dad was running out of steam, but still.
Yeah, what kind of head start do you get on freeze?
A little bit. Just say it one more time. You guesstimate the yards. 10,
30, 40,
15, 20,
50.
25. And the Freeze is running now.
I mean, he basically
Yeah, he
gets,
got 40 or 50
he
yards
lets him
on
get
him.
to the power alley, doesn't he?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
pretty much lets him get to the power alley, then he's going.
Yeah, see, the Freeze is running.
You're right.
counting on
That
you.
power alley is where you typically get walked
Yeah,
down.
boom, right there at the Georgia Power
He'd
sign.
had me at center field.
Yeah, then at the Coca-Cola sign, they are gassed.
Yeah, he'd had me at the starting line. I'd done like I did Brown running up the embankment. Talladega, I'd gone. And I would let the Freeze go. See you, buddy. See you at the other side. All right, that's our opening segment brought to you by our friends at the Regions Tradition. It's coming back to Greystone. We can't wait to get out there. In fact, at Greystone this year, you're going to get to see not one Alabama football coach, but two. Kalen DeBoer and Nick Saban will be there. Nate Oates will be there. Hugh Freeze from Auburn will be there. Charles Barkley will be there. So too will be Riley Green, all at the Regions Tradition, Greystone Golf and Country Club, right there on May 8th through the 12th. Big event happening soon. Listen to our commercial breaks with our friends at Coca-Cola. You can get into, it's May 9th at the Regions Tradition, a long drive competition for women. Right? If you're one of our great female listeners or your wife or girlfriend's really good at golf, you can go to the PGA Tour store with our friends at Coca-Cola right on 280. I'll get the date on that. It's sometime either this week or early next week or maybe the weekend, but it's April something. But you can qualify at the PGA Tour store for the long drive competition. We'll have the information running the commercial breaks throughout the day. So just so much fun surrounding the Regions Tradition. You can get your tickets, regionstradition.com, regionstradition.com, for all the fun that comes back to Greystone.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mom on Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Back with you now. Hey, by the way, if you've got a female in your life, that long drive competition that goes on at the Regions Tradition on May 9th after that day's play, you can qualify Sunday at the PGA Superstore just off Highway 280. Sunday, April the 28th, Sunday, with our friends at Coca-Cola. It's a long drive competition. To get details, go to our website, nextroundlive.com. Nextroundlive.com. Details are there with our friends at Coca-Cola. We've got developing news in college football. Forster, unveil it, please. Jaden Rashada has officially committed to Georgia now. Arizona State to Georgia. So he has gone Florida. Give me all the money. There's no money. Then I'm out. Arizona State started 2 games. Now he's going to Georgia, where at best he'll be the backup this year to Carson Beck. What does it mean, LT? What does this mean, Brownie?
Well, I'll tell you what it means is if Rashada, after Carson Beck has an incredible year this year, comes in and is the starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs in 2025, and he scalds Florida, it would be so typical where Florida football is right now.
Yeah.
You know, Brock Vandergriff gets, from what I hear, $600,000-$700,000 to go to Kentucky. So you're looking for that next guy. I guess Gunnar Stockton is still on that roster. Jaden Rashada, you know, I watched, I think it was like a late night Saturday game. I think it was like the second or third game of the year where he came in, and there was no expectation for Arizona State at all, and I thought he played really well. He just hasn't had a lot of reps.
You know, it's interesting. This is a situation in the transfer portal you don't often see, where a guy jumps from a little more of a solid position to a spot to be patient, right? Normally the transfer portal, I'm impatient, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go start somewhere else. This guy is going to be the starter, and he jumps in the portal to jump to a place where now he's got to be patient. So in choosing to do that, he gets to potentially, I guess, be the backup, right? I mean, assuming he wins that spot behind Carson Beck. So now, in practice, I'm operating in the system I'm going to play in. When it's mop-up duty, and Georgia will have a lot of mop-up duty, I get to do that, and I get to show the coaches in that system. Rather than tear it up at Arizona State, I'm going to go be the backup and be patient to become a starter. You just normally don't see this in the transfer portal.
And Dunaway, I think Kirby can sell it a couple of ways. You look at Carson Beck. He can say, we believe Carson's going to win a national championship. He's going to win a Heisman. He's going to be the number 1 overall guy. This is a guy that was patient behind Stetson Bennett. He didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You can also point out Alabama, you know, how Bryce and Mac Jones did it, waiting patiently. And I think Georgia's it's one of the few programs where you can get a player to buy into that.
Now, what's going to be crazy is if he goes there and doesn't win the backup job. So now he goes and really doesn't even get a lot of mop-up duty. I assume he will win the backup job, but you never know.
Rashada's still got to prove himself. A big-time 5-star recruit, Juju Lewis, this could impact him because he's a Carrollton, Georgia guy. And some people thought he could end up at Georgia. And with Rashada going there, that may mean Juju ends up somewhere else. And I know some Auburn people are hoping it's Auburn, or I don't know, maybe Florida people hope it's Florida. I don't know where Juju ends up now, but Juju is a big 5-star Carrollton quarterback who is out there now. See where he ends up. So one could impact another.
I mean, Jaden Rashada is really the face of NIL controversy. And I'm not saying this is entirely his fault, but he's kind of become, he is the guy that always gets mentioned when NIL goes bad.
Yeah, and I still don't think anybody really believes that story when you talk about the numbers.
I don't believe.
If it would have been $1 million, I think we could all digest it.
I don't believe the size of the numbers, but I do believe he was at least under the impression he was getting something.
It was going to be $13 million for his career.
Those are the reports. Yeah. $13 million for his career. And the story goes, for those that don't know, he gets to Florida and the collective is like, hey, we don't have the $13 million. I know you're here now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know you're here now, but we don't have the $13 million. And he says, well, guess where I'm not for long? Gainesville, Florida. And he goes to Tempe. I could see that happening, just not at the $13 million level. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask you, since you bring up the face of NIL, think about who you think that is. Let me tell you about our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing first, and then you tell me who the face of NIL is. Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg Nelson's the face of hopping on that roof right there. He'll do that for a free, no-cost roof inspection. Greg Nelson, big black truck, he'll be in your neighborhood when you call that number, 205-542-3531, locally on, local crudes. Free no-cost roof inspection. He gets up there, checks out your roof for a variety of things that could go wrong. And then when he is up there, he comes down there and lets you know if he fixed anything for free, or if he says, hey, we need to do this or that. Or maybe, hey, your roof's still fine. You probably got 5 more years of that roof or 3 more years on that roof. Get that free no-cost roof inspection. Storm damage, he takes care of that. He'll replace your roof. He'll do anything when it comes to the roofing of your house. It is Storm Restoration Roofing, A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Who is the face of NIL to you?
You're not going to believe who I'm going to say.
Oh,
but when you said
I'm going to write mine down.
Okay, you write yours down, but when you said it, the first name that came to mind is the name I am going to say. Name and face. You asked for a face. Olivia Dunn.
Oh, wow.
Is that not what you wrote down?
I was thinking football.
Oh, was it football only?
I was just thinking football, but I went DJ Uyunglele.
Because he was the Dr. Pepper guy?
And he was the first NIL deal, I think, that was signed, right?
What?
The rule went into, and then boom, they announced the Dr. Pepper deal.
And the Dr. Pepper jinx, because you look at DJ to Bryce to Caleb.
If you went football, I don't even know who I'd go with.
I went DJ because of that, but Olivia Dunn is big.
Well, I mean,
who is who's Fansville this year?
I couldn't tell you.
I think
I don't think they've announced it yet, have they?
That was the first football one I remember. But the twins that were at Fresno, right?
The
basketball or volleyball.
Yeah, those are the one that transferred to Miami?
Or maybe they were at USC or somewhere, and then they went to Miami.
I think they were Fresno.
I was thinking of Olivia Dunn because I, honest to goodness, could not name a single gymnast in America except her. Suni Lee is not at Auburn anymore, right? She's not competing. Am I right about that?
No, I think she's trying to.
I know her because she was an Olympic gold medalist, but
right.
I cannot name another gymnast in America. I really could not. I'm not just putting on, honest to goodness, if you had a gun to my head, I could not name another one.
Yeah, I do not.
And I can name her,
her,
and I don't even know if she does anything for LSU. I just know that she's a gymnast at LSU.
She was dancing with the national championship trophy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know she's part of the team. I'm just saying I don't know if she's a contributor on the team.
I don't either.
But I only know her because of NIL, Lance. Without NIL, I wouldn't have a clue who she is.
Yeah, and I've seen her more in Viore commercials than I have on any Sports Center
I've seen
highlights.
her more on social media than I've seen anywhere.
Well, I mean, TikTok, I do not follow her, but I guess because I follow sports accounts or look at sports stuff.
She's a sports star.
She pops up in my feed occasionally.
Yeah.
Like that's how I knew LSU had won the national championship in gymnastics.
My teenage boys know exactly who she is,
I'm
and
sure.
they follow her.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I understand why.
By the way, Shadur Sanders, I bet, is your Fansville guy, the more I think about it.
You think so?
For this year?
Yep.
Could be. I mean, don't they try to get a guy from a team they think is going to contend, though? I mean, that is going to be a bottom dweller
typically,
team.
but they also try to get a name and a face. I don't see Carson Beck being that guy.
I really don't either. I'm with you on
You
Carson Beck.
could get the whole Sanders family at that point. Primetime, maybe.
Oh,
Oh,
that'd
he'd
be
do
fun
it.
commercials.
No, him and Boz.
Now, it wouldn't shock me if they've got a deal with another drink and they can't do it. That wouldn't stun me.
Wouldn't stun me
As
either.
many endorsements as
Now,
Prime
if
has.
if Boz pulls out his pistol, that's going to be controversial.
Controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who you would use, Lance. It's a good question.
I think it's Shadur Sanders.
Yeah. We'll see when we get
Yeah,
to fans.
but Olivia Dunn, I mean, I don't know anything about college gymnastics. I don't know anything about I know who she is. And to me, she's the face of NIL. Without NIL, she wouldn't be what she is. And so that's the first person that came to mind.
I don't think she'd be with LSU anymore, right? She probably just would be an influencer.
I have no earthly idea. You're probably right, though. She probably would not have continued athletics because it would have been far more lucrative to give that up and just do what she's making money on.
Top of the hour, we'll get back to the NFL draft. Right now, though, before we get to what we saw last night in the NBA, JohnsonRVCenter.com getting you ready for summer. Beautiful weather, yes. The last 2 days.
Oh, yeah. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator. That's where you find Johnston RV Center. They've repriced both their lots, and they are so confident that their pricing is the best in the nation, they will beat any price you bring them nationwide on a comparable RV. That is a nationwide guarantee. Also, RV warranty forever. Gives you a lifetime warranty on everything you buy new and qualifying used. Find out more at Johnston RV Center. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator, I-65, and JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Okay, OKC leads 2-0 in New Orleans. What was crazy last night, I don't think it impacts the series one bit, but Miami hit a NBA record 23 threes last night. They were 23 of 43 in an NBA playoff game last night. It's hard to beat anybody if they hit 23 threes.
Yeah, I mean, almost 63% of their threes go. And I think it shows you, like, I agree with you. I think this thing's probably 4-1. I don't think they win another game. I think that's just a wake-up call for Boston, but it shows you how good of a coach Spoelstra is. After losing game one in postseason play, he's 10-3 in game two. So this guy's able to make the adjustments. Now, it does help when you hit 62% of your threes, but again, just a wake-up call there.
Yeah. Now, tonight, you got 3 games. And his history tells you there are 3 must-win games for the home team because no team in NBA history has ever come back from 3-0 to win a playoff series. Tonight, Orlando, Philadelphia, and the Lakers are at home, and they're all down 2-0, LT.
And all home teams are favored, including the Lakers tonight.
So they're all favored.
They're all favored.
Wow.
How
Tough
you
games,
feel about the Lakers, though?
1.5
point favorite, right?
I don't know. For the first time, and I think it was the last 50-something games where the Lakers are up 20-plus in the second half, they end up losing that game. That was just a backbreaker. Like, I really think the pressure would completely be on Denver.
Can you imagine tonight if you guys had held that lead?
Yeah. I don't know. I do think the Lakers, I could see them go down, but most of the time when a team goes down 3-0, they just pack it in.
If the Lakers had won that, I keep saying to you guys, I know you haven't dribbled a ball this year, but if the Lakers won that game, would Denver be favored in this one, or do you think LA would still be favored?
Would still be
They'd
favored.
still be favored.
Yeah, I mean,
about
they're
the
only
same,
a
you
1-point favorite, yeah.
That one's the most fascinating to me. Just because it's the Lakers. I mean, you just buy that brand, right? And I know they're a 7 seed, but you buy that brand.
Well, you just don't know what the future is going to be with Anthony Davis and LeBron James when they shut it down, when they go somewhere else, when they settle up and do it again. Anthony Davis has, he and his coach have said different things after that loss about where the team is right now. And Anthony Davis says they've got some issues they got to work out. And the coach was like, wasn't that big a deal. I disagree with Anthony. And like you said, they lose tonight. You could just see them riding off into the summer down 4-0. LeBron taking that Laker jersey off, going into the tunnel.
Throw it up to a kid.
Yeah, Jared Vanderbilt back. Pelinka's done a pretty good job of putting this roster together, but when you have LeBron still playing at a high level, top 15 guy right now, Anthony Davis in monster game 2, you just expect those guys are too good coming back to crypto that they've got to get one of these next 2. I guess I would lean it would be tonight. Again, when teams go down 0-3, they just typically tap out.
All right. When we come back, more football for you. The draft's tonight. As we head to break here, before Brandon tells us about the golf cart, can you guys tell me the last non-quarterback taken first overall?
The last non-quarterback taken first overall was An offensive lineman.
I was going to say a tackle, but I don't know which tackle I'm going to pick.
I think it was the kid from Western Michigan from Kansas City. That's a long time ago, though.
Yeah, really?
I think it's a defensive lineman for 2022, Trayvon Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, by the way, did they get overall number 1 play out of him?
Yeah. No. You think so?
I mean, that's incredible how forgettable that is.
I mean, we only remember quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, do you remember he was the guy that everybody, obviously because he's the number 1 pick, but he was not even considered to be the best defensive lineman on that team all year long.
Yep.
And then, boy, he put up numbers, and everybody fell in love with those numbers. Yeah. Just those combine numbers. That was a combine number draft right there.
Yeah. I mean, number 1 overall, just 2022.
Yeah, I mean, you start looking forward to next year, though. I mean, typically when you're drafting number 1 overall, you need a quarterback.
Yeah, it's going to be team dependent, whoever's there.
Yeah. Nobody trades out of that spot who needs a quarterback to let somebody else get it.
Yeah, if you guys are just projecting right now, who will pick number 1 overall?
Okay. Next year?
Yeah.
Let's do that after the break.
Let me think
here.
on that one.
Tell us about the golf cart.
Yeah, it is here, the Next Round Golf Cart, your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $99. 18 holes of golf and cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated historic Woodward Golf Club. This is all presented by Urology Centers of Alabama. It is a $247 value. You get it for $99. Or the Next Round Deluxe Golf Cards, just $119. That gets you all 4 courses with cart, plus the exclusive Next Round Golf t-shirt, a koozie, golf tees, and a sticker. 0 restrictions on this. The card is good through October 2024. Supplies are limited. Get your golf card now on nextround.store, nextround.store.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the Regions Tradition May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The Regions Tradition. Buy your tickets today.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you: Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst coming up May 12th through the 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long. Fireworks show on Friday night. How about this? Free Velcro Pygmies concert coming up on Saturday. Mother's Day is Sunday. They're going to take care of mom with free mimosas all day on Sunday. For more information for this incredible event, go online, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
All right, back with you on the next round as we continue on the show. Always brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Spring and summer, it's Bud Light time when you get out by the pool or by the lake. It is draft night in Detroit, Michigan. We'll be at Twin Peaks later today. We'll be there about 4 setting up. 4:30 is the live show, and we'll go until we're done talking. Right before the first pick happens, we'll be out of there before then. But you can come out and enjoy the pre-draft celebration, good food, good drink with our friends at Twin Peaks a little bit later on tonight. Pam Huff retired yesterday. I missed this, and Brownie was telling me about this in the commercial break here. And some of you in the chat room were asking, did I ever work with Pam Huff? I absolutely did. I think Pam, I'm going to be wrong here, but in my head, she was the first main female anchor in Birmingham history.
I don't know if that's true. I know in her retirement announcement, she mentioned that she was actually the first female that anchored pregnant. Like normally if you were pregnant, they did not allow you on camera in Birmingham, maybe not nationwide, but in Birmingham. So for those of you outside Birmingham that don't know, Pam Huff is a legendary for 47 years in Birmingham TV.
She was already on television at 13 when I came to work there in right before 1992. So in the late 1991 middle football season, and I came back to Birmingham. She was the established go-to news anchor there with Gene Lively.
Yeah, I remember being a small kid and seeing her like in Riches over at Brookwood Mall. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a celebrity.
Huff. Yeah. Mark and Brian did the famous Huff the Magic Newswoman. Did she sue them for that? Was she upset with that, or was that flattering to her? I don't remember.
That doesn't seem like she'd be upset about that.
Okay. Well, they upset some people over time.
Some of those bits seem so hokey because the Caribbean Queen from Billy Ocean came on somewhere. I don't know. We were in a random-ass bar, and it came on, and I was like, Mark and Brian, these two DJs, made a song about Mountain Brook girls based on this Billy Ocean song.
Mountain Brook girls?
And how bad do you think that song was if you heard it right now?
Yeah.
Nailed it. Yeah. Mountain Brook girl.
So was it Pam Huff, Gene Lively, Jerry Tracy, Ken Lass?
That was
at
it.
the desk?
That was it.
Yeah.
Pam Huff, Gene
Some
Lively,
legends
Jerry
right there.
Tracy, Ken Lass.
Yeah.
And
some legends.
Jerry just retired a couple of years ago. Ken retired before that. And Gene was the first of that group to retire. Yeah. That was the news team when I came to work for them.
How about that? Yeah, Pam had recently...
All four wonderfully nice people, too.
Yeah, Pam had recently battled cancer, so thank God she's through that. But now gets a chance to retire. 50 years in the industry, 47, and only at 13 and 33/40, right?
That's right. I mean,
so that's pretty impressive. That's a pretty good run.
I think she's I don't want to paint her in a box with Nick Saban, but I think she's from the state of West Virginia.
Oh, I have no idea.
Was she part of the 2020 COVID picture that you said that Scott Richards' head was blocking everybody?
She was not there.
That's surprising.
It was
maybe that's why they invited you.
So we can't get Pam Huff. Oh, God.
Janet Hall was there. Mike Royer was there. I wonder if he was there from 13 as a 13 rep. They had reps from all the stations over the years. I could have been 13 or 42. I don't know which one I was representing.
Brown, were you not the CW rep?
I was not. They didn't call me, Lance. I didn't get
called the Dubbas.
Yeah. I'm down the ladder at 33/40. I'm just Sunday night on the zone. That's the only time I go up there.
Good times back there.
Good for her, though, man. Get to call your own shot out of this industry is very, very rare. She's. I hope that's the case. I hope it's not some behind the scenes deal where they're making it look like a retirement. I don't know.
Tremendously nice person and God, I think she was in her early 20s when she started as a main news anchor.
Had to be.
Oh, she'd have to be.
Because I mean, what is she now? 70?
Like maybe just right out of college.
I think she said it in her retirement announcement. I think she said she was 24, maybe
20. I mean, it was.
That's young in a market like Birmingham.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Birmingham was a huge market back then, and still is relatively his top 50 market. But back then, it was in the 30s.
Well, hey,
and I would say that this was her own decision because I don't think they're going to push out a woman in their 70s.
Hey, look, Scott worked with her at 33/40. He says she's awesome.
Give me the mic.
Yeah, Scott.
Nicest lady ever.
Yeah, she's awesome. She kind of at times kind of ran that newsroom.
Oh wow,
held everybody accountable, and she's great.
Yeah, heck, I'd listen to her. She's been doing it so long.
She was the first person in my profession to tell me, you need to settle down a little bit. You're a little too high strung. You won't last this long.
Scott, do you still have Pam's number?
If you stay this tightly twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've lasted.
Well, I'm glad you listened to her. Yeah.
I think she said you will blow a blood vessel in your brain.
3340's
You just blew your hair out instead, right?
Jeez.
Our friends at Bandwagon throwing old school on the old, I don't want to say who got bought. A traditionally local got bought by an international company
UK
recently.
company, yeah.
But not Bandwagon is local.
That's
man.
right,
They
local
keep it
people
local.
and helping those local teams look your best and play your best. If you've got a vision for your team uniforms for, say, All-Star season, or if you're just starting from scratch, you don't know where you're going, Bandwagon can help either way. They can make you hit the field in style. You look good, you play good, right? Their friendly staff walks alongside you through the design creation, the sizing, and much more. Not just the uniforms, though. Bandwagon can create any custom apparel. If your business is looking for the newest polo, or your all-star moms want matching tank tops, check out the website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com, where you get all your custom apparel needs. Listen, next round, jump on the bandwagon, bandwagonsports.com.
I've got just to clear up some stuff in the chat room. People keep talking about 3-year starter Bryce Foster, starting center for the last 3 years at Texas A&M, being in the portal. That happened earlier this week. He can't come to Alabama because of the rule, SEC to SEC, just like Brockermeyer can't go to Texas because of the rule.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, about SEC to SEC. Just wanted to point that out. One thing also that popped up yesterday coming out of the college football playoff meetings, the Army-Navy game is now officially not going to count in the college football playoff standings.
Oh, you mean neither one of those teams is going to be eligible?
I don't think this is going to be an issue, but
I mean, in the 30s, this would have been a big deal.
No, I'm just saying.
But they'll do the standings before that game. That way they don't have to hold the playoff field.
That's right.
Yeah.
They'll release the standings before that, and if chance happens that Army or Navy is the Group of 5 representative, even if they lose that game,
they're still in.
They're still in. It will not impact their standing in the college football
I'm
playoff.
actually okay with that because, first of all, you're probably never going to have to use this.
Never.
But secondly, it was going to be stupid to hold the ratings or hold the matchups just for that one game.
Just for that one game. And one other note before we get back to the NFL on the other side with Dan Wetzel, who's scheduled to join us. You know how those preseason kickoff games sort of aged out?
Like the Kickoff Classic in the Meadowlands, and then there was the one in Anaheim and the Big A.
I mean, even the one in Atlanta doesn't seem to be as big as it was when Alabama was playing, Clemson or Virginia Tech over there.
Yeah, there is some excitement about USC and LSU this year.
That one's a good one, yeah.
It's in Vegas, right?
But that's a new location and a new one there. These things edge out. Probably stick a fork in the games being played in Dublin.
Good.
Okay, who starts it this year? Is it?
That's Notre Dame.
I'm sure it's Navy and Notre Dame. It always is. Throw Georgia Tech in there, Boston College a little bit. But, there's a couple of things about that. I think it's lost its luster, and it's like a 9 a.m. kick.
Yeah, but it's a week 0 9 a.m. kick, so I'm actually kind of okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's 9 a.m. I think they play it at night and gets it to early afternoon, 11 a.m. kick, somewhere around there.
No, it's been a 9 a.m. kick.
It has been in the past.
So
I don't know
year.
where it is.
Anyway, my point is you find out who plays it this year. Next year, 2025 in Dublin. Ready for it? Big 12 matchup game, Big 12 game. Kansas State, Iowa State in Dublin.
Used to be a battle for the bottom of the Big 12 North.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'd rather see that game played
almost anywhere.
On
in
campus.
Oh, gosh,
in Ames or
either,
in Manhattan.
Or Manhattan, either one.
Than in Dublin.
Florida State, Georgia Tech this year. Florida State, Georgia Tech in Dublin, week 0. There is a TBA next to the time on that one.
I'd rather see that one in Atlanta.
I had too. I'd rather see it in Tallahassee. I'd rather see it anywhere but Dublin. But again, it is a week 0, so I'm not like losing a Saturday game for it.
Yeah, I would say the only cool thing is let's just use Florida State and Georgia Tech. If you're a fan of one of those two programs, it's an opportunity to go to Ireland. But if I'm going to Ireland, I don't want to go for a football game.
That's exactly right.
I want to go to a castle.
I want to go play golf.
I'm just saying, if we're down to Kansas State, Iowa State, I mean, even you got Florida State as an anchor there against Georgia Tech. You got Notre Dame as an anchor against Navy.
Kansas State, Iowa State don't really have an anchor anymore.
Well, I'm just going to say, though, as of right now, the Thursday night schedule is atrocious.
Of week one?
Of week one.
Well,
like, that game would be even better on Thursday night week one as a standalone game.
We moved North Dakota State.
It's the
Colorado.
best game.
It is the best game.
That's your best game on Thursday night, if that tells you anything about the Thursday night schedule.
We'll move somewhere.
That'll be an intriguing game, though, because just imagine if Colorado loses that game.
Yeah, we get one Big Ten opener on that Thursday night. Usually.
Yeah, but it's probably Indiana, Illinois.
It's North Carolina at Minnesota.
It's not a bad game, Brown.
Ain't a good game.
Ain't a great game.
North Carolina, Minnesota, 2 bowl teams.
Jim, half of football's a bowl team.
These two are looking to build off 6 and 7 seasons.
Top of the hour, Dan Wetzel coming up on the other side. The show being brought to you by our friends today at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA. They'll take care of you. 16 locations spread throughout the state of Alabama. It's UCA, Urology Centers of Alabama. Early detection is so important. Prostate health, all the way to kidney stones and everything in between. They've got urologists standing by, 35 of them that work for Urology Centers of Alabama. Call the number 205-930-0920, 930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Stay on top of your health, guys, in 2024.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by Amherst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the Region's Tradition, May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The Region's Tradition. Buy your tickets today.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast. The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Before we go to the guy who had a good laugh at your Abe Lincoln or Nick Saban Best American, question at Talladega, Lance. Tell us what the question was last night at Odie's.
Last night it was, this is one that Brown and I did a trivia for a fundraiser on Tuesday, so I kind of stole this one. But what is the rarest blood type in the world? Only 1% of the population has this blood type.
I have the most common blood type.
I don't know my blood type.
O positive.
I don't know mine.
Well, it's the universal donor. I've got O positive as well. It's amazing how many people don't know their blood type, including Brown. Now, I think about 70% in the room we polled knew their blood type. Nobody had this blood type, but the rarest blood type in the world is AB negative.
All right. AB negative. They need you to donate all the time if you're AB negative.
All the time.
I know
all
in Jack State, my blood type was C+.
Yeah. That's our friends at Odie's.
Yeah, man, it was a great crowd last night, Rocky. It felt like a holiday, kind of.
Yeah, it felt like Thanksgiving. It was a big crowd last night.
Yeah, it was packed. We had somebody's 21st birthday. Rocky played some songs for us last night. Always festive, always a good time. Great food from Rodney Davis. Our buddy Jeremy was out there, ate not once but twice, burger, fries, and the cheese sticks. Just great food from Rodney Davis. Ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. The location we were at last night, we do it every Wednesday night. Odie's Team Trivia in Crestline. Newest location in Edgewood. Get in, see Will Haver and the fine folks. Odie's Tavern.
Dan Wetzel is the national columnist for Yahoo Sports. The draft is in his town, in Detroit tonight. Dan, do you know your blood type? Not because you're going to the draft or anything. I'm just curious if you do know your blood type.
I think it's like D+, or maybe that was just my grade point.
That was your GPA, Dan.
That letter seems familiar. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Certainly wasn't any A, B, or any A+.
As a guy, yeah, I'm not A+. Trust me. As a guy that has lived in Detroit for a very long time, how big a deal is this among Detroiters? I assume that's what you call yourselves. That this the draft is there in the Motor City tonight.
Hell yeah, drinking outdoors? What? I don't know if you know too much about Detroit, but that's about all we need. Wait, it's okay? The cops ain't going to arrest us or nothing? Yeah, on our podcast, we were calling it Detroit's Mardi Gras. They're just going to sit around, watch TV, and drink in the streets. Look, once, I think it was 2017, the NFL, they started moving the draft around. They went to Chicago after New York, but they still held it in a theater. And then once they went to Philly, this is all Philly's fault. They ingeniously put the thing outside and figured, hey, anyone want to come watch this? And if you've ever been to a draft, nothing happens. Like it is, like they used to run it. It could be a Zoom call. Well, it was a Zoom call there in 2020, but like it's two guys shaking hands, and that's it, right? So nothing happens. Why would you put it outside? How many 60, 70,000 people showed up in Philly and turned it into this like event, right? Just a great party. And now obviously it's taken off. Nashville was crazy. Vegas, Cleveland had a pretty good one. And believe me, Detroit will absolutely show out tonight. Every hotel room in the city is sold out. Like 7,000 hotel rooms, people coming from all over. They're estimating 400,000 people over the weekend just out there. So people are excited for the draft. They're excited for football, and then they're excited to have the country see Detroit in maybe a different light than historically it has been for good reason. But a lot like a city like Birmingham, you don't get a whole lot of chances. This isn't New York or San Francisco, something to kind of show off the city. So Detroit's very excited.
Well, Nashville is my high bar of the draft. It was right in the music district, the bar district. It was a great scene. Yeah. I apologize. All I know about Detroit is the movie 8 Mile. Do you guys have a bar scene, a strip there that they're hosting this thing at tonight? Where is the draft happening?
Yeah, they should have done it right down 8 Mile. That would have been pretty funny.
Yeah. The prospect that could finish running the full 8 miles, you are the number one pick.
It would have been quite a scene. Yeah, they put it right downtown, so it's just surrounded by all its buildings. They don't have a Broadway, right? There are no displaced bachelorette parties. The poor bachelorettes of Nashville couldn't do it that one weekend.
Nobody's peddling, making their own daiquiris.
No, my God. I mean, Nashville is great, but that is overwhelming when you're there. That's a lot of bachelorette parties. A lot of screaming to bad Morgan Wallen covers. But anyway, it's not really a bar district, but they're right in the city. So last year, Kansas City, they do everything by Union Station, all their Chiefs parades and Royals parades. Obviously, the incident this year. But that's kind of outside of downtown. Detroit's just plopping it right in the middle. And so it'll kind of weave around, and they got screens up. I was down there. They got screens up everywhere. So it's not really a bar district. It's not. I think what was cool about Nashville was people were up on those. Every bar's got those
rooftops. Yeah,
rooftops and decks and stuff. It won't quite be that, but it'll be a mob scene.
When this was announced that it was going to be in Detroit, I guess most Detroit fans assumed, hey, we're going to be selecting in the top 5.
Yeah.
And now we're
really
talking
Detroit Super Bowl. I mean, generally speaking.
Yeah, their Super Bowl is the draft,
But
right?
now, Dan, we're talking about a team that was making noise in the postseason, and Brad Holmes has done such a good job as the general manager assembling this talent, and now they're selecting 29th overall. I would assume that Detroit fans are going to be kind of happy with whatever they get at the back end of the first round.
Brad Holmes could pick a punter with the 29th pick, and the Lions fans would believe him at this point. There's probably not a GM in the league with a higher Q rating or ability. I think he has had, the stat may be slightly off, but I remember writing it at some point. I think he's had 14 top 100 selections so far, and 11 of them panned out, either in big ways or at least reasonable ways. And the other 3 are not bad either. There hasn't been a bust. So if you can do that, you get good really quick. And that's how Detroit got good really quick. Obviously, Jared Goff has played really well, but all of a sudden you're surrounding him. So last year he takes Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, right? Running back, obviously from Bama, and he gets torched for this. Then he takes Sam Laporta, a tight end, and everyone's like, "What? These picks don't make positional sense." And all the mock drafters were mocking him. And then you get to the season, and Laporta's as good as anybody. And Jahmyr Gibbs was a monstrous talent for him, and it fit perfectly for what the offense is. So he is a guy that's just picking who he thinks will fit the team and what the best available player, and he's not dealing with all the other stuff. And I intellectually like that. I think that the draft is the analytics on the draft and people talking about the analytics and what you got to do, and they're trying to bring sense to a senseless process. I don't know that you can ever really figure out the draft. And when you try to overthink it, it's a very basic thing. Pick good players. And if you just do that, it's very boring. But if you pick good players pretty soon, like I said, all of a sudden you have 10, 11 really good football players on your team, you're going to win a lot of football games. It doesn't necessarily matter what position they're playing.
Dan Wetzel is with us, national columnist, Yahoo Sports, at Dan Wetzel on Twitter. And when you go, by the way, to his Twitter handle, at Dan Wetzel, you will see the Epic Athlete Series. If you got a young reader in your family that's a big sports fan, some great athletes that he highlights in books. Easy for the kids to read there. As Dan told you, his GPA was a D+, so it can't be too deep. Epic Athletes for the young readers in your life. You can see that on Dan's Twitter feed. Do you buy into this narrative? Here's what we do with the draft. We fall in love with a player like Caleb Williams, and then he plays for a year and everybody loves him. And then his second year, they're like, okay, now let's tear this guy apart a little bit. We loved him for a year, but now that he's about to be the number 1 pick, let's find everything we hate about him. So now he's immature. And
that's called content.
Yeah, and frankly, the more he talks, Dan, I'm being honest with you, the less I like him. are you concerned about his makeup for the Chicago Bears?
I don't know him, and these are so hard. What was it? I think it's 2021 and 2022. Those 2 drafts. Only 2 quarterbacks in the 2021 and 2022 drafts. All the guys picked are still with the same team they were drafted at or starting, some kind of stat like that.
Yeah.
And those 2 players are Trevor Lawrence, who went number 1, and Brock Purdy, who went last. So, I don't know. Like, you can spin these things. You go, gosh, the guy was crying to his mom. You know, is that a football player? Is that a leader that can command the locker room? Nah, you know, no. And then otherwise you go, but what about a guy that cares so much about winning that he's crying and doesn't care if everyone sees he's crying? And yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I mean, I have concern about every one of these guys because you sit there and go through this every year and you go, oh, gosh, this guy can't miss. Look, J.J. McCarthy barely did anything in college. Like, he's a good player. He could, very mobile, leadership, like, didn't make mistakes, and he obviously can throw the ball. He's a very good athlete. Like, he's a really good hockey player, like that kind of, like, just great athlete. But all of a sudden people are like, yeah, he's going third to the Patriots. And you're like, really? Like, I never saw that out of J.J. McCarthy. I saw a very good college player. So you just don't know which guys are gonna do what, especially at that quarterback position. It's befuddling to see. But a couple years ago we had 5. We had all these guys go, and Zach Wilson in with his team, and Trey Lance didn't pan out, Mac Jones didn't pan out, and Justin Fields didn't pan out, and you just sit back and go, gosh, what? How can you predict any of these guys? I would have thought one of them would work. None of them did.
Did you see? I don't know if you saw this. We had it on the show yesterday. I think Paul Hembo is the guy's name that works on Get Up. He's an ESPN statistician.
Yeah, he does a trivia. Yeah, really good trivia stats and stuff.
Yeah, and he did the stats. What he based it on was, did this player sign a second contract with the team that drafted him? Now, when you got free agency and things like that, that's going to skew this a little bit. But the only position that was over 50% was offensive tackle. Everything else was at best a 50-50 proposition. And quarterback obviously was included in that.
Well, and center was the number one.
Well, center was number one, but it only had like 12 picks in 20 years. So it was a little bit of a statistical outlier.
And back to Detroit, like they picked Frank Ragnow out of Arkansas one year in the first round, their center.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone being like, man, like, that's the boringest pick, right?
Yes, that's right.
I was like, but that guy's incredible. Like, he's the center of that whole team, And so you get those guys. But yeah, it's amazing the amount of money spent, right? And the amount of effort and these staffs of scouts are unbelievable. They're huge and they're talented and they work so hard and nobody can really hit at a reasonable rate. And that's why I think, to the point earlier about Brad Holmes or any general manager, just like, I'm just going to pick good players and I'm not going to bother with all this other stuff. Like, these are the guys I want. That guy comes up, I'm grabbing them. I think we've come to a point where we've overthought the draft, and I would say you can blame it all on media or everything, fans just kind of, because what do we know? How much Caleb Williams tape did you really watch? Right? I watched him play football. I'm not spending my free time breaking down his footwork or something against the blitz, but they are. But it's not just us who don't know. It's the teams.
Yep.
The teams get it wrong, and these are massive decisions. These are career-defining decisions. You get this wrong, the Bears get this wrong again. The Bears haven't had a all-pro quarterback since 1950.
Yeah, Sid Luckman, right?
Sid Luckman. 51 years they haven't got a quarterback.
Guy's been dead for a quarter of a century.
So are the Bears.
Hey, honest to goodness, Sid Luckman sounds like something you'd be watching, like that old movie American Graffiti. Who's playing the dance tonight? Sid Luckman is. Oh.
Sid Luckman and the Crooners. Yeah.
Hey, so Dan, everybody reaches for quarterback, and so JJ's probably going to go in the top 5, but obviously Marvin Harrison is probably going to go in the top 5. You think a bigger applause for JJ or bigger boos for Marvin Harrison?
Ooh, yeah.
I suppose there'll be a little booing if it's an Ohio State player, but not that. I don't think it's that much. It's like a little different crowd. Michigan's obviously very popular in Michigan, but it's more of a pro crowd. So there's definitely a lot of interest in what J.J. McCarthy does. Although I don't think he's at the draft. I'll say this about Marvin Harrison. This is one of the guys. I'll do this tonight after on our pod. We'll pick like guys you just know are going to be good. and I don't really care where they got picked. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a good NFL player, like Joe Alt, right? Like Kyle Hamilton. Like I bet Baltimore always gets these guys. These get guys that just like oh, Kyle Hamilton, that's going to be a good football player. He may not be the greatest. I remember that was with Lamb, who went to Dallas. Like he was so good at Oklahoma. Like this is sort of guys. You're like, yeah, that guy is going to be like Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers can't miss.
You have any doubt he's going to be at least good?
No, I've seen him fall to like 15. Dan.
What a deal!
He is the guy that I think will end up being a pretty much a bust.
Dunaway is the one Brock Bowers bust guy. Right?
Really?
I am the one It's 8 hours and 41 minutes away from the draft. I may be the only guy that thinks Brock Bowers is a bust.
If he gets hit by a bus, is the only way he's a bust.
If he gets a crappy quarterback,
other than injured, he never missed.
Never.
I know. Dunaway, they really.
I want those guys on my team. Like, I'm gonna. Marvin Harrison Jr. is like a pro. Like that guy's just going to be a pro. Is he going to end up being the number one receiver in the league? I don't know. Probably not. But there's only one guy to be that guy. But you're picking him and going, yeah, third and 8. I need a pat. Oh, we're throwing it to Marv. I mean, that kid was great.
Brock Bowers, Dunaway, they ran tight end reverses to the guy against SEC defenses.
I want Dunaway to be the GM in the war room tonight for the Saints.
I'd be freaking Kevin Costner up there. My pick's in. I watched him at Jordan-Hare Stadium. He got shut down until Auburn got DB'd.
He won that game for them.
After there was an injury.
He won that game.
After there was an injury, the guy that was shutting him down until that injury.
I heard Auburn,
and he never did anything
Auburn
against
fans
Bama.
walking out saying 19. Well, who the hell's 19? He won that game for him.
Not until there was an injury in the game.
Wait, to who?
Yeah. Wetzel's got to go drink. Go drink, Wetzel.
No, Rockstar's got to.
Oh, okay. Rockstar has one more question. Okay.
What?
One more, and then I got to get after this. It's only like 10 hours away. I mean,
Rockstar only asks questions to Kalen DeBoer, Nick Saban, Hugh Freeze, Gus Malzahn, people like that, but he has a question for Dan for some reason.
Well, Dunaway mentioned Eminem. Beaten in Detroit, how significant is the name Rodriguez to you?
How significant is Rodriguez?
The musician Rodriguez, Sisto Rodriguez.
Don't ask me about music, man. I barely know
say
Eminem.
that there's that documentary takes place in Detroit, Searching for Sugar Man. Did you ever watch it?
I have not seen it. No.
You've got to watch Searching for Sugar Man. It's from 2012. It's about a musician from Detroit, and he didn't have a record deal and just couldn't do it. He's an amazing songwriter and singer. Didn't have anything. Had tapes released during apartheid in South Africa where music was illegal. Guys loved this guy. They had no idea who he was, and they tried to find this musician named Rodriguez. And it is
Detroit?
Yes, he's from Detroit. It's one of my favorite documentaries I've ever seen. It's got a huge twist at the end. It's a true story. So, Searching for Sugar
All
Man.
right, there you go. I'm going to watch that once the draft is over. Yeah, I don't have a lot of outside interest. I spend my day talking to offensive coordinators from the MAC. I'm not well-rounded at all, so that's good. I'll check that out.
By the way,
it's a wild city. Detroit's a great city. It's not organized real well, but it's got a lot of soul to it. So.
By the way, LT's question that you had on your pod was from Talladega.
Yeah. Pat Forty was correct. We were in Talladega.
From the infield at Talladega, which is sort of like at times to where we were, it could be a southern Mardi Gras. Yeah.
Oh, I've been there. Yeah, I covered a few towns. I used to cover a lot of NASCAR.
Yeah, Wetzel, if you want it, I'm retiring the sleeveless wolf shirt. I can send it to you.
I'm okay. You keep that.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite part about it is that you guys were playing the video in which Lance is wearing a sleeveless wolf shirt, and you wouldn't let 40 convince you that he was in the infield at Talladega. I'm like, where else would Lance wear that?
Botanical Gardens.
I feel bad. I didn't know we were playing the video on the Zoom.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't watching it. That's why I didn't know, because I've been to Talladega and I'd seen the video before, but I thought we just had the audio. So our podcast is not particularly well run because I'm the host. And, you guys are a professional operation. We're just sort of do stuff. But it was a great segment. We enjoyed it. I think we concluded that we understood Lincoln. He did a lot. We can't. Can't argue with his resume. But we're 4 4th and 31? Does he have one of those? I don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, Rockstar mentioned a documentary. Dan is executive producer of the Aaron Hernandez Netflix doc. If you've never seen that, it's fantastic too. At Dan Wetzel on Twitter and read him at Yahoo Sports. Thank you very much for the time, Dan. Always great talking with you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, enjoy the night.
I got to ask Dunaway, man. You're eating dummy sandwiches. His best game of the year was against Auburn.
Tell us about Woodhouse first, and then we'll relive that game.
Oh, please.
We'll relive that game.
Because I did stay for the entire game.
Relive that game.
That's news enough.
Give me first 3 quarters, and then give me the 4th quarter after the injury. Help me out, Auburn fans.
Who was the
Who is the
injury?
DB that got injured? There was a DB for Auburn. Auburn fans can help me out here.
Oh, yeah.
A
He
DB
shut
for Auburn
down
was
Brock
shutting Bowers down.
please.
Auburn was going to win the game. He leaves the game, and Bowers is open the rest of the game, and he helps them win the game. They will not have those kind of injuries in the NFL.
Oh, my
Bowers
God.
bust.
No, they don't ever have injuries in the NFL.
He had some of his best games against Bama.
Woodhouse. He didn't in the last one.
Mother's Day, just a couple of weeks away. How about that special gift for mom? The gift of luxury from Birmingham's Best Day Spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Centers, right off of Highway 280. You can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's Best Day Spa since 2009. Order that special person gift online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Or just stop by the Summit Shopping Centers. Tell Stewart and the guys the Next Round sent you.
Tom's right. I'm not helping my case by waving goodbye to the guy on the phone. You can't win an argument when you wave goodbye to the guy on the phone.
Wouldn't even acknowledge me.
Jalen Simpson.
Jalen Simpson got hurt until that point.
Okay.
Auburn's going to win the game.
Well, then if you're right,
Simpson gets hurt.
Why is nobody drafted Jalen Simpson
They're
in the
going
first
to
round?
tonight.
Not in the first round.
Not in the first round.
Yeah, he's
Jalen Simpson's going to have a good NFL career.
Well, Jalen Simpson's a top 100 guy right now.
That's right. And he was shutting down Bowers. There's top 100 guys all over the NFL.
Okay. I mean, you're
I'm just
on an
looking at the
island.
headline. Beck to Bowers combo rallies #1 Georgia. to
Rallies is the key
27-20.
word there. All after
They were
the
behind.
Simpson injury.
Yeah. This is a heck of a stance for you because it is almost universally thought that Brock Bowers is a can't-miss guy. Now, look.
Short arms, slower than expected.
You Mel Kiper all of a sudden. We
no upside.
Tied.
No upside.
We looked at this yesterday. Listen, the best minds in football, which Dunaway is not, nor am I, the best minds in football can only get this right half the time. So you could be right here. Like everybody thinks Bowers is going to be this can't-miss guy. Even the best minds in football only get it right 50% of the time.
He is can't miss if he doesn't get hurt. Can't miss.
He gets hurt occasionally.
He does.
He's battled through some injuries.
End of last year. Yeah. He
He's
fought
not-
back, though, to his credit.
He's not a guy. He's not a guy who is going to anchor an end of the line and do a lot of blocking. So he's sort of he's a modern day tight end.
Well, you don't get asked to do that a lot if you're that good a pass catcher.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's a combination of Kelsey and Kittle if he stays healthy. I mean, I think Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock Bowers, those guys are absolute can't misses if they don't get hurt.
Troy's right. What have we learned when Jim really believes something? So you can go ahead and give this Brock Bowers, when you hand
Hall of
him
Fame.
his hat tonight, go ahead and give him a yellow jacket too.
Do you really believe he's
I
going to be a
really
bust?
believe Brock Bowers will not be the best tight end
Okay,
in this draft.
so in the shower this
there's
morning,
a chance. There's a chance.
In the shower this morning, I was thinking about this. The Rams could be so many directions. They need an edge rusher to complement Byron Young, who they got from Tennessee, a steal last year. But they could go defensive tackle. They could go offensive line. They could go the future quarterback. Some people are saying Penix. But I would love if Bowers drops a little bit, if they move up just a little bit and grab Bowers.
Oh, boy, if that happens,
I would love it.
projection would be fun for the rest of our lives.
Oh, I would love it.
Yes.
The only thing I don't want is Bo Nix because I know that my Twitter is absolutely going to blow up.
It will. As much hate as you gave that kid.
Yeah, I will tell you this. I don't like when my team drafts Alabama and or Auburn players.
Well, good Lord, your whole secondary was Auburn for a little bit.
I know. And now we've got to draft a
O.J.
DB.
Howard.
We need a DB really bad tonight. And
Terrion?
Kool-Aid is sort of projected around where we're picking tonight.
I want Georgia players.
Yeah.
Where you go, Dunaway? You've got
we're 19th, I think.
26.
26. Yeah. 26. We won that many games.
He ain't
we won a
falling
playoff
that
game.
far.
The Rams are 19. Yeah.
We'll see.
Who, Kool-Aid?
No, Kool-Aid could.
Kool-Aid, yeah, I
I'm
said
talking
Terrion,
about.
yeah.
I thought you were talking about Brock Bowers.
Oh,
but
Bowers,
people
yeah.
are saying that Brock Bowers was locked at number 10 to the Jets, and now people have him anywhere from 12 to 16.
I tell you who you want's that Toledo kid. That kid that's in there from
Quentin
Toledo.
It's exactly what I want, a flyer.
Oh, look at that flyer guy
from Toledo. When's he ever had a pressure play? Ever. Come on.
Kicker missed one kick. No one kills him. It was a third quarter kick.
When we come back, I've got some thoughts on the NFL draft. Rockstar has our 4 downs. We'll continue moving along here today. Jump on at Next Round Live everywhere at Next Round Live, whether it's TikTok, as long as it's still available in America. We've got an account, and you can jump in with that. We've got Instagram, we've got Twitter, we've got Facebook, we've got everything at Next Round Live. Like, follow, subscribe, thumbs up. Show being brought to you by Dr. B. We had some other people swing by Dr.
I was
B
there.
yesterday.
Yeah, I went to see our guy, Dr. B, LT, to see if he can help thicken my hair up a little bit. Look at me in there with Dr. B talking to him, Lance. I did exactly what you did.
You did. Same room, same lighting.
Room, everything.
Same room.
Yep.
Dr. B, just a great dude. Again, hopefully you're going to have the success that I had with Dr. B. Went in to see him right when we started this venture. Since that time, which is like 2.5 years.
You never let me draw on your head like that.
My hair has more than doubled in thickness. T3hair.net. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. That's the cap I wear.
That's it. Yep.
I never knew it. I thought it was just like a bowl. I never knew it looked like a cap.
No, that's a cap that fits over it, so you can wear it. He was showing me that's Scott's cap, and we put it on top of it.
Okay, so I've never done it like that.
You don't have to, and that's my DNA test, so they could tell if I'm human.
Dr. B's a dentist.
No,
too.
Dr. B was like,
you were getting your COVID.
No, he's like, Brown, I thought he was a machine all this time. I'm like, no, I'm actually human, Dr. B.
For more than 20 years, though, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein and sat in that really dark lit office and got the consultation for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mom on Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com. Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Yeah, Dr. B, a little thinning because he is a cancer survivor for all the dicks in the chat room.
As we bounce back here, those of you discussing things over in the chat room, we appreciate your input there. A little correction on what you're talking about over there right now as we bounce back here. LTD and B with you. Rockstar, Tyler, Forrester, Lunsford, Taylor Korn, EG, Kelsey Reed, everybody up here handling their business today on this NFL Draft Thursday. Show being brought to you by our friends at Redmond Vodka, LT.
8 times distilled, gluten-free, locally owned and operated product. Charles Barkley, one of the great faces behind the product, available in 22 states. If you're at a local bar or restaurant, ask for it by name. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. You can pick it up at your local package store, including the beverage place. Pink package. Again, it is Redmond Vodka.
Okay, so I mentioned my Brock Bowers thoughts. Let me just a couple of quick questions about the draft tonight. What position, not the player, what position in the draft do you think the first defensive player goes? Because there is some discussion that we may go past number 10 before we get a defensive player.
I think I got some MyBookie odds on that, Lance, if you'll give me a second.
Let me show you.
I mean, the over-under is 10.5 for defensive players.
10.5 for defensive players.
It's 21.5 for offensive players.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, the props are back up. So we've got some of those plays that Lance has lost.
Okay, but you're saying 10.5 number of defensive players in the first round.
Taken in the first round.
Okay, but I'm asking you, when's the first one
Number
taken
8.
possession?
Number 8.
For the Falcons.
For the Falcons. I think it's Dallas Turner.
Here's Daniel Jeremiah's projections. Daniel, friend of the show, part of the show. Caleb offense, Jaden second, Drake May, Marvin Harrison, J.C. Latham, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Dallas Turner, 8th to the Falcons will be the first defensive guy taken if it goes as Daniel Jeremiah. But isn't that in the area where somebody could be jumping up to try to get that other quarterback?
Could be. I mean, you look at Minnesota, I think they're going to make a move before 8. Okay. But if JJ's still out there, I could see Minnesota move up.
Yeah, so if you don't go there, do the Bears, do the Jets?
Raiders could move up.
Yeah, Raiders could move up to take a quarterback. So if it's not Atlanta, then when does the defensive guy go at that point? Yeah, you have to ask that question.
Yeah, you got a lot of good edge guys in this draft, though.
You do, and sometimes that allows you to be patient. That's Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft.
You know what we're seeing tonight that we'll never see again? Is this coming up in 4 downs? Is this a never see again? Is that one of the questions? No. But I will go on and tell you this. Cooper DeJean, the cornerback for Iowa,
right?
You will never again see a white cornerback go in the first round.
This is the last time ever
again.
Ever again. When's the last white cornerback that went in the first round?
I don't know. Jason Sehorn was the last great white corner, right?
John Lynch was pretty good. He was a corner
safety. Tell me a cornerback. I don't think you'll ever see a white running back. Christian McCaffrey was the last.
Oh, I'm not going to go there.
I would guarantee on the cornerback.
Yeah, corner. I'll go with
90% on the running back.
Yeah. I mean, you've had one at least recently enough with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. But I mean, who is a guy in college right now that would even be in that mix?
I can't think of one.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm like, I hope we pick on that guy. Throw him.
NFL draft tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN, ABC, NFL Network, and just about everywhere else. How many wide receivers in the first round?
I think the number 6.5 right now, the prop that I saw, it depends. A.D. Mitchell from Texas, Xavier Worthy, those are kind of back in first rounds. Ladd McConkey's a guy that could sneak in. So really, Brian Thomas, it depends on those guys.
Brian Thomas easily in the first round. McConkey's the one that I saw that could throw off the numbers.
As people may be surprised by that, but he has been in some mock first rounds. Lance is right. 6.5 is the Vegas number on that right now for wide receivers. So if you feel so inclined, you're over under 6.5 on that one.
Nicholas is saying how many quarterbacks in the first round? You think it'll be 6 now?
I think it's 6. Yeah. Yep.
So if it's over 5.5, you take
4. I got it at 4.5 at mybookie.ag. So 4.5 is the number. So that'd be an easy win for you.
Yeah, I think
you're right.
And I've seen 4.5 too. Now you're laying minus 350. It's a big number that you're posting out there.
Minus 400 at 4.5.
Yeah. But I mean, again, if you win, you don't sweat the minus 400.
That's right.
We know for a fact there's going to be 4. And then it comes down to both Penix and Bo Nix. And somebody, I'm not going to say they're going to reach because I think Penix is going to be really good. But I think 6 go. I really do.
Las Vegas and Penix have been really good. Jaden Daniels, who could go as high as number 2 overall to the Washington Commanders, has said some pre-draft things about not wanting to go to Washington. He wants to go to Las Vegas or Minnesota.
Well, again, the tie with Antonio Pierce. Minnesota, you would have the best receiver in all of football in Justin Jefferson. And I saw somebody this morning put him on the spot. Hey, if you could get drafted anywhere, where would you want to go? What's he supposed to say to that?
Yeah. Anywhere in the NFL is fine with me.
Yeah, he said anybody that wants me and feels like I could be a franchise quarterback, that's where I want to go.
When I was very young in this business, like when an Alabama or Auburn player would declare, and I had an interview with them, I used to ask them that question, like when you were a kid, who did you envision yourself playing for? Or if you could have one team draft you, who would you pick? And they are so well schooled not to answer that question.
Yeah,
that can only come back to haunt you.
Yeah, I would feel bad, at this point asking them that. It's a great point.
I gave up asking them because you never got good answers.
That's what they said at Dallas Cowboys. Well, you end up going to
the New York Giants,
to the
Philadelphia
Eagles, or the Giants, and
yeah.
you're the absolute rivals.
Yeah.
And it always comes back to haunt you at that point. Wanted to be a Cowboy.
Did you now?
Well,
I just quit asking because you never got a good answer, and I realized, they're just schooled not to answer that question for good reason.
So is Nick Saban going to be on the panel tonight?
Yeah.
He's on the ABC broadcast with the College Game Day crew. That starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Belichick is actually with Pat McAfee doing a live show on another platform tonight.
Did you see he's going to be a big part of the Manning cast?
He is. He's going to appear on it. I don't know if it's going to be a big part
That's
of it.
the way I saw it reported, as a big part of it, a recurring appearance.
I didn't know it'd be. I knew he'd do it at least once. I didn't know it was reoccurring. Show being brought to you by Way to Wellness. Before we do Rockstar's 4 Downs, Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. All you have to do to jump on and learn more about Way to Wellness is go to their website, aplanforme.com. It's aplanforme.com. Way to Wellness. Leslie and her board-certified team will walk you through the process absolutely free. It's a free, no cost, no obligation session there where you learn about the plan and everything about Way to Wellness. All you have to do is go to aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. And when you do decide to sign up, like a lot of you have, there's no contracts, there's no sign-up fees. And as I said, that first consultation is free, and that's what you see happening on the video right there. For me, it wasn't just about weight loss, though that's a benefit all these years, but it's also about blood pressure, cholesterol, and other things on just eating better, controlling your diet a little bit can help you with. You find out more what Way to Wellness can do for you by going to their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. All right, LTL, tell us about Slice and 4 Downs in just a second. Rockstar has our 4 Downs every Thursday, always away from the sporting world, and we always start with...
First down.
We've done this a couple times today. What is your I'm calling it now prediction?
Well, now Dunaway has solidified this. Brock Bowers will have a Hall of Fame career. I hope the Rams trade up to get him. I said last year watching this kid, he could be a top 3 pick at tight end, which is insane. Now, obviously, he's dropping a little bit. He's going to be a top 15 guy, maybe a top 10 guy.
Why is he dropping, guys?
Because maybe teams don't really want to go after a tight end.
They don't want a Hall of Fame tight end? Okay.
Well, he's going to go in the first round.
Yeah, those guys.
That's what the expectation
for sure.
is. But I'm saying it right now. He's going to be a Hall of Fame tight end.
What's your answer, Brownie?
I'm calling it now prediction. Regardless. Hear me now. Regardless of who wins the upcoming presidential election, neither one of them will finish a term.
Neither one of them?
Nope, neither one of them will finish the 4-year term.
For health reasons?
I didn't say why. I'm just saying regardless, neither one of them will finish the 4-year term.
Wait, did Biden not read Paul's on the teleprompter?
He did. Yeah,
That's embarrassing. We are.
Oh, come on, Ev. It is embarrassing, but we've worked with people who've done it in live spots.
It was embarrassing.
No doubt. But I mean,
who are 3/4 of their age.
This is a continual problem, though.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joke.
And I would tell you that I didn't think President Biden would finish.
I didn't either. I thought he would die or get removed.
Yeah. Well, regardless of who wins it, I'm calling it now. Neither one of them do 4 years.
Second down.
What are you tired of hearing about?
Who is going to be the next president of the United States?
Give me a couple months.
I'm tired of hearing about that.
Caitlin Clark. Once she left Iowa, I'm kind of done with it. WNBA. Look, she's done a great job for the sport. She's fun to watch. Sick of hearing about her.
Wow. Sick of hearing about her.
I mean, that's all we've heard about for the last 2 months is Caitlin Clark.
Okay. Now, biggest Swiftie on the show is who?
Jim Dunaway.
I don't think it's close.
Tired of hearing a little about this album. This album.
Just the album?
31 of them.
Whenever they go to a parade.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's absolutely love Taylor Swift, and we'll find things I like about this album. She sold, this is not her best album. Not her best album. She sold 700 vinyls. Excuse me, it's not 700. 700,000 vinyls in the first 3 days. A record. Nobody buys vinyls anymore. She sold 700,000 vinyls of this album in the first 3. Yeah,
I think
it's a record. It's a record.
I know, but I think I was in front of the vinyl. I only bought 2, but remember about a decade ago, I was like, I'm getting in vinyl.
That's right. I remember when you were fired up about it.
But it's really popular.
But that's a record all time, and that used to be the only way you get albums was on vinyls, and she sets that record in 3 days.
That people are actually buying.
But now
the actual album.
You've said it's an awful album.
It's not my favorite album. I will find songs I like on it. It's hard to be in the mood when I'm driving to and from Talladega when it was dropped, when I'm in a great mood, hanging out with all of you guys.
And the whole album's in a bad mood,
And the whole album is like I'm laying on a therapy couch.
Yeah.
See, I need to listen then. I think I'd like it.
Why? You like Billie Eilish. Her songs
I love Billie
awful.
Eilish.
Every one of them sounds like she's, I don't even know. It's terrible songs. So like she's been put under. But
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Third down.
It seems like that whole album would sound like Billie Eilish.
What is something that still makes you angry years after it happened?
9/11. I mean, how can it not?
Oh, wow. I didn't think that deep on it.
No,
But you're right.
I mean, you just think about the more and more stories you hear and how many people lost loved ones and all of the pets that nobody came home to. And I don't know, man. It's changed the world.
Yeah.
Literally changed the world.
I can't top that one.
I can't either.
I wasn't trying to get that deep.
Well,
but
mine
it
was
just
going to be
completely pisses me off. Though. But y'all go ahead.
2014.
Yes.
You got to give me something you were thinking.
I mean, anything else is insignificant.
Yes.
I mean, we've gone presidential and that. I'm just.
Mine's the crucifixion.
That was the only one.
Fourth down.
Maybe you answer this one last.
Okay, I'll wait.
Yeah. Maybe you don't answer first anymore.
This one might help me.
Mine was the Dolphins game, by the way. He was not about to say that. Yes.
Mine was Preston Gothard being ruled out of bounds in the 80s at Penn State.
Yeah, was not about to go Dolphins game after that. Yeah.
What is your advice for someone who is always late to things?
Listen, I live with this. I want to say on the front end that I love my wife and my daughters more than anything in this world.
I love your wife and your daughters. I love my wife and my daughters. They just start late. They start late.
The only real thing in life that gives me any anxiety is being late to something. Hate it. And I am the only one in my family that has that anxiety. The only one, right? And every Sunday we're late to church. Every single Sunday we're late to church. Right? And it's just the fact that I'm not there when it starts. I don't know why it gives me anxiety, but it does. And literally all you'd have to do is shift your schedule by 5 or 10 minutes. We're only 5 minutes late for church, but we're late every Sunday.
I have told my kids, you're wasting someone else's time when you're not punctual. Get your shit together is what I would say. I give everybody a time, like we've got to be there at 7:30. And sometimes I'll fudge the time a little bit to make sure.
Well, I got tired of fudging the time because then I would get confused. And then we'd show up 10 minutes early sometimes, and then we ended up being 30 minutes early, and then I'd get yelled at. So, but I am the same way. I do not like being late.
Just gives me, I don't know why it gives me anxiety.
We went to meet our buddy Jeremy last night at Odie's before trivia, and I was supposed to meet him at 6:30, and I got there at 6:33, and I felt bad about it. And I know that's ridiculous. But I was trying to tell Maddie, hey, we've got to be here at 6:30. Got to leave the house by 6:10.
One year on Father's Day, my family said, "What do you want for Father's Day?" I said, "I want to be on time for church." That's all I'm asking. I just want to be on time for church for Father's Day.
You don't think you're anything like me. That's such a Dunaway
That'll
lie.
be the best gift you can
Brown,
give.
why am I purposely late to church?
Lance doesn't like the music at church, so he skips the music service and just shows up for the preaching.
Well, sometimes music can get loud at some places, and sometimes like there's just for people like I would rather hear the message.
Yeah, I don't like
that's it. I love the sermon, but I'll tell you, a new church I've been going to, the music It's actually really
Yeah,
good.
we do passing the peace where we walk around and say hi to everybody. Good
Right,
morning.
right,
Good morning.
Y'all are casual in that one section because I've been there before with all the donuts and people just.
Oh yeah, you can get them walk around and coffee and everything. Kids stay and they can be loud.
I like that.
That's our contemporary service,
Yeah.
and that's where the music is really good. It's contemporary music. My daughter sings there a lot. But the passing of the peace in any service, I would just soon wave at you guys. That's fine. Hey, good morning, guys. I waved at you when I walked in. I don't need to walk over and shake your hand or give you a hug or anything. And I'm a touchy-feely guy.
A lot of that died of COVID.
But I'm right there with you, Rocky. The sermon is where it's at.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I know people want to praise and worship and everything. The constant standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down. Like, it gets, there's just.
Well, and you go to our church a lot. I don't know if you and Nancy still go there, but y'all have gone there a lot. And generally, you stand up for the music, sit down. Now, my pastor, George Wright, you stand when he reads the first scripture there, and then we sit back down. But pretty much, it's not stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down.
Well, it's different. It's people's different of the same formula.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
version of this formula.
Yeah.
Well, if Maggie ever said, you know what you need to do in your show, Jim? Here's what you need to do. Would I handle that well?
Nope, you would not, Jim.
You love that stuff.
So I drew it out for her one time. I was like,
oh, this is so you.
I was like,
how I would do a sermon?
Yeah, you act like this is going to surprise us.
Here's your run of service, right? It's boom, boom.
You don't critique her sermons.
No. This is the whole service. I said, you guys have one too many. In the contemporary is fine. But in the traditional, I'm like, you guys have one too many songs here. It's out of place. You go, introduction. There's an anthem when you come in. Then you guys say some stuff.
Have you called a meeting with the board yet?
Then there's two songs, and then there's something else, and then the sermon should start right there. And then you throw in another song. That song is out of place in your rundown. You've got one too many songs, and that's why we're out at 12:03 to 12:05 every day, depending on the length of that song. Is that one song right there that you guys don't need? It didn't go over well with her either.
Wow.
So how many times has that made you get on a wait for brunch because of that 3 or 5 minutes?
Every time.
Hey, so a lot of places, when church wasn't in COVID, they quit passing the plate. Do y'all still pass the plate?
We have a QR code. You can do it many different ways.
If you don't pass the plate, though, that cuts out about 5 minutes.
Most of our churches, most of our
they don't do
congregation is a reoccurring tithe.
What?
Yeah, well, most of them is just.
It's all mobile or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, there's still a basket where if you want to go old school envelopes, you can throw it in the basket on the way out. But they don't.
We've got a
pass
box
plate.
at the end. We got baskets at the end.
Yeah.
We don't pass it. You grab it if you want.
Because one time I was the usher and it was a complete disaster. They needed somebody to pass the plate and I'd never done it. And the guy asked me, and there were two jobs, right?
I used to love doing it.
Pass the plate every other aisle
and then catch
and count the people in your section so you can give a head count. So I screw up like 3 rows in. I accidentally pass it on the aisle. He's already passed on. So what happens? The plates meet in the middle, right? And he's looking at me like, what are you doing?
That's giving me anxiety.
And now everybody's looking around like, what do I do with 2 plates here? So
cross them over at that point.
So then we get to the end. He goes, how many were in the section? I said 97. He goes, the section only holds 68.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, then go with your number.
Yeah.
I mean,
you were going to
counted
lie
wrong.
about a number?
No, I just counted wrong. Jim, I had a lot going on. I was trying to get the plate in the right aisle.
I even get killed for going to church.
Well, who's killed you for
Well,
going
somebody
to church?
said that they're floored that I go to church. If LT goes to church, he's hungover. So it's
Hey,
understandable
listen,
that he
so
would.
you know where somebody that's hungover needs to be? They need to be at church, Sam Bam. I don't want to be at your church if you don't want somebody that's hungover not at your church. That's not what you call a church. That's what you call a country club,
And honestly,
Sam Bam.
if I'm hungover, I typically watch online like I did last
there you
weekend.
go.
I don't think you should read absolute trolls in the chat room.
No, it's fine.
That's 4 Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice. One more segment still to go in this hour.
Local pizza, local ingredients, absolutely fantastic. Our buddy Andrew from Heritage House, him and his wife are actually going to come through and say hello to us tonight when we're out doing a draft party. But just a couple of weeks ago, he was like, I really appreciate you guys introducing us to Slice. We absolutely love it. It's local pizza, local ingredients. In my opinion, the best pizza in all of Birmingham. Get in, see the Bajaya Brothers. 5 locations, the original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, now in Homewood, right there in Edgewood. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
And tonight, we're at Twin Peaks for the draft show. Tomorrow, Brown, we're on the road at Barber Motorsports
Yes, sir,
Park
Jimmy.
because it's Indy. I almost said Indy 500 weekend. It's Indy racing in Birmingham time.
That is right. It is coming back to Birmingham. The Indy 500 Road to the 500 leads through Birmingham coming up. And next weekend, or this weekend, excuse me, we'll be there Friday. The fastest drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden are going to be there putting their skills to the test, trying to take the checkered flag. Riley Green, the country music superstar, is the Grand Marshal. He'll give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engines. It is the Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the region's tradition May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The region's tradition. Buy your tickets today.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new Chicken Bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by Amherst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by Amherst coming up May 12th through the 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long. Fireworks show on Friday night. How about this? Free Velcro Pygmies concert coming up on Saturday. Mother's Day is Sunday. They're going to take care of mom with free mimosas all day on Sunday. For more information for this incredible event, go online, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Back with you on the next round. Draft tonight in beautiful Detroit, Michigan. Should be a fun show. Dan Wetzel earlier on the show. You can get that podcasted. By the way, 3 more NBA games tonight. Last night, the Braves got a win in 10 innings over the Marlins, 4-3. More crazy in the Major League Baseball circuit is that the Cubs beat the Astros 4-3. The Astros are now 7-17 on the year, the 4th worst record in Major League Baseball. Last night in hockey, great win by Boston on the road in zany Toronto, 4-2. 2-1 lead now for Boston as they get that win back, and Las Vegas leads Dallas 2-0 in that NHL series as the playoffs are crazy. A team from Canada hasn't won the Stanley Cup since 1993.
So
that's
I would love to
insane.
see the Maple Leafs do it. I don't think they're ever going to do it.
It would be fun. Hemp Hill Services brings you the hot and cold of everything going on.
Yeah, most people got that AC cranked up. I think it's going up to like 88 or 89 this weekend. Is that right?
I have not checked.
Yeah, I think it is. 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys. Hemp Hill Services, hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Is Toronto the most underachieving franchise there is?
Probably, based on what they had done in their history. And it's been... When was the last time? Was it the 50s?
And you're saying of a team that at one time had success and then hasn't had any
just based
since.
on what you expect. I mean, I expect the Toronto Maple Leafs, of all teams in hockey,
they're an original
the Toronto Maple Leafs ought to be a championship contender all the time.
But there used to be only 6 teams, so I mean...
Well, yeah, but I mean,
but that's a major market. You would think that they would spend whatever they need.
In the country that cares.
The Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns used to be really, really good.
Well, put it this way.
Really
if
good.
The
now they haven't won
the
much
Predators and the Vegas Knights are having success.
Yeah, because they were expansion teams. You know, and the league got bigger, spread out some talent.
I'm just
it's
saying.
not like the American teams aren't winning with Canadians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the few Canadian franchises. They used to have so much of the league.
It's just the only reason I bring it up is it would be the equivalent of an Alabama football. How long has it been since Toronto has won a World?
I'll tell you right now,
50 years.
50 years. So
it was the last Stanley Cup was 1967.
So imagine if a proud program like Alabama or USC or Texas. I mean, Texas has almost done this, by the way. They've only won one in that time.
It feels like Nebraska's doing it right now.
I mean, proud programs like that, if they'd gone that long without winning a championship, they'd never stand for it.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. So they won 13. Now, they started back in World War I, 1917. But in 61, 62, 63, and 66, they all won championships.
Yep. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Just a question.
Continues tonight, the NHL playoffs, which a lot of you guys end up loving. Michelson Laser Vision will get us to the top of the hour. Tell us about Michelson.
Pre-inflation pricing. Ask about it when you call 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. Most things going up in cost, not LASIK, from our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Dr. Jen Michelson, Dr. Mark Michelson. They have held the pricing steady for the last couple of years. Call today. Inquire about it. I'm speaking from experience. I had the 2200 vision. Now I have 2015 vision after the procedure, which I got 20 years ago. Make the phone call that I made. You have nothing to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Much more, including some college football to tell you about in the next segment. Yesterday, the Lions spent $232 million re-signing Amon-Ra St. Brown, the great wide receiver, and Penei Sewell. Still no contract for Jared Goff yet, and still no contract for Dallas playmaker Micah Parsons, but both are expected to get new deals before the season gets underway. NFL draft is happening tonight. We continue on with the next round coming up.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
This hour of the Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short-notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
You have all heard of Red Wing Shoes, but what is Red Wing Shoes? It's the place where men buy boots, plain and simple. Who are Red Wing's customers? They are construction workers, warehouse employees, college students, the guy that fixes your AC, the guy at the end of the bar, the IT guy. Red Wing is a father, Red Wing is a son, Red Wing is a cult following shared by all men. A classic, comfortable pair of cool boots with a story to tell. What's your Red Wing story? Red Wing Shoe Stores, located in Pelham and Trussville.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show today. Greg Sankey, coming out of the college football playoff meetings, talked to Heather Dinich of ESPN.com. She asked him about the growing conversation about a super league, and Greg Sankey said he doesn't worry about things like that. He doesn't paint a picture where a super league is ever going to be a thing. And I always wondered, Brown, why would the SEC and the Big Ten give up their power for a super league?
So is the super league the relegation idea that you brought up the other day? Is that what they're talking about there?
I think the super league in some people's mind would be that, but I think in reality, it could very well be just the Big Ten and the SEC.
Yeah.
But I don't even think Greg Sankey and Petiti of the Big Ten have a desire to eliminate the ACC and the Big 12 intentionally. If it happens, it happens. But they looked out for trying to control what they could control to make sure that the SEC and the Big Ten was fairly compensated in the new college football playoff model where they're getting 58% of the revenue. But there's still a place for other conferences in this and other teams.
Well, so I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they swear by this, and y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but the more I took a look at this, they said the SEC is not interested in the brands like Clemson and Florida State at all. The two that they're really interested in are North Carolina and Virginia.
Yeah, two more states. And
well, 2 more states in Virginia because of the endowment. Like, I didn't realize this. Virginia's endowment is over $10 billion.
Yeah. How does that help you, though, as a conference?
Well,
it helps Virginia.
It only helps if they're willing to spend endowment on athletics, which a lot of the highbrow universities will not do.
Yeah, sometimes it's written in the rules that it can only be spent on academics.
And I think Virginia's torn because I don't know how much of that endowment really wants to put money towards athletics.
Very little, I am sure.
I think Virginia believes, based on their academics, they should be in the Big Ten. But what people don't realize is how good the SEC has gotten academically. I mean, Georgia, Florida, Vanderbilt, Alabama, and Auburn and State, when I was in high school deciding on a college to go to, those were easy schools to get into. They're not anymore.
Yeah. In athletic terms, though, Brown, in North Carolina and NC State have been tied together now by law, and in the past, Virginia and Virginia Tech have been tied together by a state law as well. I don't know if those can be broken.
Yeah, and as you know, the 2 schools I have always heard, Lance, are North Carolina State and Virginia Tech. Now, I think some of that was, Jim, the thinking that North Carolina and Duke were more Big Ten bound if this happened.
In Virginia.
And Virginia, they do seem to fit there more. But if North Carolina and North Carolina State are conjoined at the hip by state legislation, that is a bit of a game changer there. So I don't know. But to your point on the endowment, I mean, there are a lot of schools like Stanford's got a massive endowment, but I don't think they spend a lot of it on athletics. That's why they're not in a major conference anymore. That's why they're in the ACC.
Yeah, you
now.
brought Georgia Tech has a huge endowment, and just now were they tapping a little bit of that to help
try to
get
better.
Yeah, and Georgia Tech still doesn't make any sense to me with the market, everything behind it. But you brought up Stanford yesterday, and I think Stanford 7-8 years ago would have been really appealing for the Big Ten.
Yeah, well, they're good in all the other athletics usually as well. The thing that I found concerning coming out of these meetings, and Bill Hancock, who has been, he's now retired, but he has been the guy chairing the college football playoffs. He said something that the NFL is a little upset with college football. Now listen to this.
Okay.
The NFL a little upset because the opening round of the new college football playoffs, the first of the 12-team playoff, that first Saturday is also the first Saturday when the NFL plays their first Saturday games.
Well, the NFL needs to get over it. All they've done is claimed ground towards college football. I think it's dumb for college football, frankly. But
college football is, and Bill Hancock says, we're not moving off. There's no plan for us to move those Saturday first round games off of Saturday. We're not going to play them on Thursday night. We're not going to play them. We're going to play them on Saturday. There's going to be Saturday games. Obviously, they've got a Friday night game, I think, in that window, but we're going to play it on Saturdays. And the concern now would be if the NFL starts using its massive power to override that law that I brought to the table that nobody knew about, and they can start playing Saturday games anytime they want to now, which would impact the television ratings in college. So if college football starts pushing back at the NFL, they don't play Saturday games all the way until that December when they break out a couple, I think it's 3 Saturday games now, and that's the only time they can play it. At some point, the NFL could probably get that law pushed out of the way and play Saturday games anytime they want.
That cracks me up, though, that the NFL's upset with college football. Thursday night was a college football night. College football was like, hey, you know what? We could play some Thursday night football games, and people would sit at home and watch it. The NFL was like, that's a great idea. We'll take Thursday night, too. And then it killed Thursday night college football. Thursday night college football is awful now. It used to be, maybe I just remember it, fondly. But it seemed like I got a pretty meaningful game every Thursday night.
The ACC jumped in and said, like, we're going to make a good Thursday night game. You had Florida State, Virginia, and that upset.
Yeah.
It feels like that was a Thursday night. You always had a good Virginia Tech game or two.
That's right, on a Thursday night. I remember that Oklahoma State, Iowa State upset was a Thursday night.
It was Friday
night, but it's a weeknight game.
I think it shows you how much college football has grown. The NFL never worried about college football.
That's right.
And now it's the second biggest sport in America.
And Black Friday has always been a college football day. I mean, Black Friday, now they're not always great games, but I can remember when Colorado got good, Colorado and Nebraska was Black Friday every single year.
Oh, no, they used to be their rivalry games. Their rivalry weekend on Black Friday.
That's right. And you know what the NFL said? Hey, that is a good day for a game. We'll take that day too. So now that college football's like, I'll tell you when it's a good day for us is that first Saturday y'all are playing playoff games. The NFL's like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah, not playoffs for the NFL, but playoffs for college,
But, I mean, grab is all the NFL has done, and now they're going to get pissed at college football for trying to do it. That's very hypocritical of them.
Yeah, but if you poke the bear, Brown, the NFL's the bear.
They are.
Then they could come back
I think
start taking Saturday nights or Saturdays, and that's going to hurt TV ratings in college.
I think it's a bad idea for college football. I would do everything I could to avoid playing head-to-head against the NFL. The NFL is the number one thing on TV. And college football ain't beating it. I don't care if it's a playoff game. They're not going to beat even regular season NFL games. Those games are massive ratings. So I would avoid it as much as I could if I were college football.
Our friends at the University of Montevallo get you ready for that next stage of your kid's life, son or daughter. They're looking right now. Make Montevallo part of the conversation there. Go to montevallo.edu to get more information and schedule an in-person tour. Montevallo, great campus life, beautiful campus down there on Flower Hill, and also 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports. Millions of dollars invested into a new theater and music department recently. About to have an online a nursing school come online there where you can go there and major in nursing and broadcasting and so much more. It's all right there at Montevallo. Find out why you belong at Montevallo, montevallo.edu. Draft continues tonight. Couple of other notes about that. Arizona and the Chargers, Cardinals and Chargers, both have their quarterback, both look to trade down. Who do you think is looking to trade up other than the Vikings? Vikings is the obvious one. Vikings got that extra first-round draft pick, so that's why they have the ability to move around, everyone says. The Vikings have the ability to move up because they got a bonus first-round draft pick.
I've seen suggestions, Lance, and a lot of people think the Patriots could consider, if the money is big enough, trading out of that number 3 spot. I mean, they need a quarterback, right? And that's a great place to draft a quarterback, but a lot of people think for the money they would get out of it.
Well, and I think the Patriots, realistically, even if they get a quarterback in this draft, I think they're going to be drafting number 1 overall next year.
That's right.
Who is?
The New England Patriots.
The Patriots.
I think the Patriots are going to have the worst record in football.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at season totals yet. Maybe they'll readjust after the draft. With all that said, if you're the Patriots, is it better if you're sitting at 3 and the first 2 quarterbacks, more than likely Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, are gone? Is it Drake May, or do you wait a year and get a guy like Carson Beck?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the question you have to ask if you're Gerard Mayo and the Patriots.
Because you need a lot. There's a ton of needs.
Yeah. Do I like right?
You trade back and you pick up a couple of extra guys.
Yeah. Do I like the number 3 quarterback this year, which is what I'm going to get, or to Lance's point, I don't want to tank. but I'm going to tank, and then I get the first pick of quarterback next year. Which one do I want?
I don't like either one. Who's the first quarterback
You
next
don't
year?
know. I mean, it could be Carson. I mean, you've
I
got
think
your
it'd be Carson
choice.
back.
You got your choice, but you at least get the best choice.
But I think the Raiders could trade up too.
Yeah, Raiders seem to really like a couple of the quarterbacks. One of them is Michael Penix Jr., who seems to be a hot name in Vegas as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Raiders, I don't think Aiden O'Connell is going to take you to the next level.
Doesn't sound like it anyway.
No, and then the Raiders also picked up, who did they pick up? Free agent quarterback. Oh, my gosh.
Who did, the Patriots?
No, the Raiders. Very
Raiders.
average. I don't know why this is escaping me.
I don't remember.
But I've seen that the Broncos could
They got
consider-
Garoppolo.
No, Rams got Garoppolo.
Okay.
I've seen the discussion that
Gardner Minshew.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've seen discussion that the Broncos might trade up. I mean, I don't know. Everybody always wants you to trade up or trade down. They always want you to trade, right?
Yeah, Bears.
And it's easier said than done.
Bears have the first overall pick and the 9th, so 2 picks in the first 9. Will they use both of them?
I think they will. I think Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren, listening to those guys, Caleb Williams is going to be number 1. Get him another weapon. And Roma Odunze is the guy that they think is going to be there. I know one of your 5 was Odunze. You thought he was going to be one of the 5 best in this draft, and I think there's a good chance he's sitting there at 9, so why not pick him up a weapon?
Yeah, get him a weapon there at that.
I was interested in the way you started that sentence, though. The Cardinals and the Chargers have their quarterback. I do think that question is still a question for the Cardinals. They got him for this year, but I don't know if they think they've got him for the future, right? I mean, this is kind of make or break for them, right?
With Kyler Murray.
With Kyler Murray. I mean, I think it's his make or break year. I think they're going to give him one more year to prove he is your franchise guy.
Yeah, and I just don't think he's that guy.
I don't know that I do either, but I don't also, it's kind of hard. They're in the spot done away where you're right about what you said, because they can't just say, you know what, we don't think he's going to make it. We're going to give him another year to make it, but we're also going to draft a quarterback high just in case he doesn't. I mean, you kind of have to give him this year and then address that next year if he doesn't show that he can be the guy.
Well, that's the thing. You wonder how many teams really reach for quarterbacks. The Giants are in the mix. I mean, realistically, Bears, Redskins, Patriots, Cardinals could think about it. The Giants, I don't think the Titans and Falcons would. Seattle definitely would. The Jets would be thinking about it, because how long do you have with Aaron Rodgers?
Well, your quarterback room is Aaron Rodgers, age 40, Tyrod Taylor, age 34. And that's it.
You're probably going to need a new one at some point.
Combined age of your quarterback room is 74 for 2 people.
Minnesota, the Raiders.
I tell you, if I'm a quarterback, I go to Minnesota. I really like it. That's a place where you're tailor-made to start out successfully.
Well, if Jaden Daniels could pick his place, it would be there. Don't be surprised if Minnesota chooses Drake May whenever they pick, if he's available.
It's great for Drake May. I don't know if it's great for Minnesota.
Because there's a tie there. Josh McCown, their new quarterback coach, who's there in Minnesota, coached Drake May in high school. So there's a relationship between the two. See if that plays out tonight. The NFL Draft will be out at Twin Peaks. 4:30 is our live show on all of our video platforms today from Twin Peaks. We look forward to that this afternoon to talk more about the draft coming up. Real quickly, tell me about the fine folks at Gutter Cap, and then while you're telling us about Gutter Cap, everybody think about the one quarterback that you thought was going to be fantastic.
Mine's easy.
In the NFL draft, and ended up being horrible in the NFL draft. Don't use Ryan Leaf. Go.
45% off the retail price right now for our friends at Gutter Cap. 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's a dirty, dangerous job. You don't want to get on the roof. You slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Make the phone call that I made more than 2 decades ago. Call Chris Stewart. It will come out, give you an absolutely free estimate, and you'll never clean the gutters again. 205-823-2212. GutterCapBirmingham.com. Cap it, don't snap it.
And I'll also say you can go this way, too, if you want. Somebody you thought was going to be great ended up being horrible, or somebody you thought was going to be horrible ended up being great.
I know Lance is on that one.
I didn't think he'd be horrible, but I'm shocked that Patrick Mahomes has gotten as good as he has. Yeah. And the same with Jared Goff. Like when the Rams selected him number 1, I was like, well, I wanted Carson Wentz. Didn't really want either one of those guys.
How about Jared Goff? He goes into this year right now. They say they're far away from the contract. He's in the final year of his 4-year, $134 million contract. he's in his final year of that. So they expect something to be worked out soon, but right now the sides are far apart.
When I look back on his numbers, I'm puzzled as to why I felt this way. Maybe I was just trying to be the old diamond in the rough projector. I need to go back and look at this draft here to see who I thought he was going to be better than. And it was the 2011 draft, and this is when I decided never, ever, ever project quarterback, because you know why? The NFL can't even get it right. So why do I think I can, right? I'm never going to bash a team. This quarterback's going to be a bust. This one's going to be a NFL. They know more football than me. They can't even get it right. Why do I think I can? I thought the Titans got an absolute steal with Jake Locker at number 8. I was like, he's going to be the best one in that draft. Cam was the only guy that went in front of him. Blaine Gabbert was also there. I mean, Blaine Gabbert was not great. Christian Ponder to Florida State. I was like,
oh, what a draft.
I know, it's a terrible quarterback draft, was it? Cam was the only one that worked in the first round. But I was like, Tennessee, you got your guy. Jake Locker is going to be a star in the league.
Yep.
I was incorrect, Jim.
Yeah,
I was out there on Kenny Pickett, and I don't think it's panned out for Kenny Pickett so far.
Yeah, but again, Pickett was hurt. It was a terrible offense with Matt Canada last year, and now he's been sent to Philadelphia. So I don't even know if Pickett will ever get another opportunity. We'll see. I thought Matt Leinart was going to be good.
I agree with Nicholas and Royal Payne. Matt Leinart was a guy for me. I thought he'd be fantastic in the NFL forever.
Yeah, had a ton of talent around him, obviously at USC. I thought Jamarcus Russell, just watching him at LSU, he was so good. And I really believe, again, I don't know him, but it just seems like once he got that contract, he kind of tapped out.
Yeah, which is always a concern. NFL draft is fun, I think, because if you're an NFL fan, for every team, it's like a new beginning. You got a new toy.
He gets killed for it annually on social media. The sports radio legend Mike Francesa up in New York City used to be WFAN. He and Chris Russo, Mad Dog, Mike and the Mad Dog. And he gets killed for this every year. The video comes back up. He's like, listen to me. And he does it in that thick New York accent. 5 years from now, the biggest star in New York sports is not going to be, and he names all these Yankees and Knicks and New York Rangers. He goes, the biggest star in New York sports, Sam Darnold. The guy will not be able to go anywhere in this town. He is going to be the biggest star in New York sports. You get ready for it.
Swing and a miss.
Hey, we've all had him, but I mean, he was so confident about it.
I blame Belichick for messing up Mac. It'll be interesting to see if Mac Jones gets another opportunity now, backup there in Jacksonville. Looking forward to the draft tonight. Hope you guys are too. Also looking forward to our friends at Champy's world famous fried chicken. They bring you this hour every day, the 11 o'clock hour. Hour number 3, Sterling and his crew right down there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. That great menu that includes brined overnight, cooked to order Southern fried chicken. It is so delicious. You've got to try it. It's a destination lunch location. Hand-cut chicken fingers. I heard Taylor singing those praises earlier on. I know Rockstar loves them too. They got a special sauce down there that is so fantastic. And the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's our friends at Champy's world famous fried chicken. All right, as we get ready for the draft tonight, there was one portal guy in basketball yesterday, not reported by Harry's Bar in Tuscaloosa, but it's Forrester had a laugh at this name. Take a look. Georgetown's Supreme Cook entered the NCAA transfer portal yesterday. Supreme Cook. You like that, Brownie?
I do. That's a great name, Supreme Cook.
I mean, it's not the grilling king.
He gets on fire. He's cooking.
That's
He's
right.
cooking. Supreme Cook is in the portal.
He's not a sous chef. He's the Supreme Cook.
He averaged 10 and 8 last year, 10 points, 8 rebounds. Pretty good numbers there at Georgetown. So Supreme Cook has entered the chat there when it comes to the portal. Looking forward to that. Meltdown later today at 2 o'clock Central Time. Make sure you make plans to be along with Lunsford and Melton and the crew later on today. And LT is part of a new Uncorked with Taylor Korn. They'll tape that today. That'll be released likely tomorrow with a new episode of Uncorked. Like and subscribe everywhere to get details about everything going on up here, including our friends at Lakefest, LT, where the Velcro Pygmies are about to jump back out on stage and put on a show that we'll be talking about forever.
Yeah, that is going to be Saturday night. Again, live music all weekend long. Logan Martin Lakefest and Boat Show presented by Amherst, May 10th through the 12th. on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free admission for the public. Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend. Fireworks show on Friday night. It's Mother's Day weekend. They're going to take care of Mom. Free mimosas for moms. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more information. That's LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. We got now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations: Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mom on Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Back with you on The Next Round Trash in just a second. Regions Tradition coming up. EG's actually thinking about heading down to the PGA Tour store on Highway 280 coming up Sunday, April 28th, with our friends at Coca-Cola, and trying to win a spot into the women's long drive competition coming up at Regions.
Ooh, does she hit it pretty well?
Top 15 qualifiers get to be in the long drive competition on May 9th out at the Regions Tradition after the end of first round play.
You play their tees. Are you going to try?
From the women's tees? Yeah. I told them, let me go dress in a skirt and see if I can knock it out there. But PGA Superstore is where you can go, brought to you by our friends at Coca-Cola LT. April the 28th on Sunday, if you want to be a part of that. The Regions Tradition is coming up May 8th through the 12th. RegionsTradition.com, RegionsTradition.com, Greystone Golf and Country Club right there. We'll be broadcasting out there Wednesday, and that's when the Drummond Company's Pro-Am will be happening. Nick Saban and Kalen DeBoer, Nate Oates, Hugh Freeze, Charles Barkley, Riley Green, and so many more out there at the Regions Tradition Greystone Golf and Country Club, May 8th through the 12th. Tickets at RegionsTradition.com. Anything going on you guys want to get out before we get to trash here?
Nope.
Anything happening in your life?
Nope.
Okay, had a good.
I do want to show you the Rams draft house. Scott's got this up for us.
Oh, we got a draft house?
Got a
Like,
draft
where you get
house.
beer or where
This is
you
why
watch
we're
the
going
draft?
for Brock Bowers tonight. No Bo Nix. Bo Nix is not allowed in this.
What is a draft house? What does this mean?
It's where the Rams brass hang and they make good selections.
Oh, so instead of the war room, they're in a house?
Yeah, man.
I like this.
Look at that.
That's
Whose
a
house
beautiful
is it?
house. I'm sure it's Sean McVay's, right? Is
Yeah,
that
him or
McVay's
Les
house?
Snead, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to Inglewood, it says.
I mean, I would, if it wasn't in L.A., I'd move there today.
Yeah. It's a good-looking Rams house there, Lance.
It is. Very tacky if you're not a Rams fan, but if you're a
Absolutely.
Rams fan,
I think it still could be tacky as a Rams fan in some places.
Hey, by the way, that staircase seems like a good idea until you live in a house like that.
It's got like one of those winding staircases. Yeah.
That's a disaster. waiting
I'm
to
sure it
happen.
is.
Well, that's the draft house for the Rams going tonight at
that
7
outdoor
o'clock.
patio.
Still
Beautiful.
going, man.
Man, a lot of rooms in the
That
old
room's
draft
not
house.
tacky.
What do you think that thing runs? Looks like it's Newport Beach.
Yeah. It's in Cali.
It said Inglewood.
Oh, did it?
Did it say Inglewood?
Yeah, welcome to Inglewood.
That's a little cheaper then.
No, I don't think that's Inglewood. That's on
The old Zillow draft
I
house.
just read the sign. It said,
Okay.
welcome to Inglewood inside the house. Maybe that was an old signage because did y'all play in Inglewood at one point?
No, that's where SoFi is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's probably just signed. That's
Yeah,
not where
maybe.
the house is.
Yeah,
Probably
maybe,
something from the stadium. All right, here we go. Trash time. Big button mortgage right. Let's hit it, Rockstar.
Waves in opposition. Anita Dick is an opponent. Waves in opposition. Holden Hiscock is also an opponent.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Some people said from the Talladega coverage, we had a couple of lines, including mine, that's aggressive with that one guy. That could be a good trash open.
Okay.
There's the K. Ivy one that hasn't gone out yet that I think could have some in there too.
Yeah. So there's maybe a couple of other opens that we could pull out of that. I'm sure LT's Abe Lincoln or Nick Saban had a good one or two for that one as well.
So, spring buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country, and while the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not. Before you take your next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with our friends at Mortgage Right. Call their local office here in Birmingham or go online. Go to mortgageright.com/TNR NMLS 2239, equal housing lender, 205-900-7200. We start first. A flame-throwing robot dog that can shoot blazes up to 30 feet is up for sale in the United States.
Not a dog. You can't have too many of those.
What was the name of the Black Mirror episode?
That's one of my favorites.
Was it Metalhead?
Something like that. Like it is freaky.
Eraserhead?
Yeah.
That's what that thing looks like without the flamethrower, though. Now, Throwflame, the manufacturer, claims the robot dog is the first of its kind and has a battery that can last up to an hour. The robot dog is armed with the company's ARC flamethrower and is available for $9,420.
Yeah, I mean, which company doesn't have an ARC flamethrower?
Laser mounted on the flamethrower provides the aim to the flames, which has a range of 30 feet. Throwflame says all products are designed for personal and commercial use, such as ground clearing or controlled burns, ice and snow melting, forest fire containment prevention, and film production. This thing's going to end bad. Some idiot's going to get one of these.
You think?
Yep.
Yeah, the old flamethrower generally ends bad for somebody, right? I mean, somebody's going to be on the other end of the flamethrower at some point.
One of the final scenes of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh, it's great. I think you'd really like it. Yeah. But anyway, there's a flamethrower scene in there.
DiCaprio's become another meme with that, him pointing at the TV. You see it everywhere from Once Upon a Time. It's a meme.
Snake bite victims
Say it with confidence.
are endangering medical staff by bringing the reptiles with them to the hospital, according to doctors. In Queensland's Wide Bay region, doctors have come face to face with some of the world's most venomous snakes captured by patients believing it will help them ID and good for treatment.
Yeah.
Now,
This is the one that bit me.
Yeah.
7 times as I got it into this canister.
that's pretty impressive that you can get the snake. Like, that would probably be the last thing I would try to do is catch the snake that bit
But
me.
isn't that what they tell you to do, though?
No, I didn't know that.
I
Do
think they encourage you to do that so they know what snake bit you if you can do it.
Can I
mean,
not
kill
just
it first.
snap a picture of it real
Well,
quick?
kill it first
Yeah,
and then bring
don't-
the carcass.
Don't put it in Tupperware and take it to the hospital, a live snake.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's
Better
poisonous,
go and kill it.
I'm going to take time to kill it, or am I going to drive to the hospital?
Well,
So-
if you can kill it, it's probably going to be immediate.
This case here earlier this month, this is Bunderidge Hospital, 4 hours north of Brisbane. They were handed a plastic food container with a small eastern brown snake.
Yeah, sounds dangerous.
Now, the incident has prompted the hospital's director of emergency medicine, Adam Michael, to warn patients to leave the snakes alone. Quote, "We honestly don't want people interacting with snakes any more than they already have. Any attempts to either get close to the snake, to catch or kill them, or to photo the snake just puts people at risk." I thought once they bit, the venom was gone. Am I wrong on that?
No,
no. Baby ones too. They don't know how to control it, so they just give it all. If you get bit by a baby snake, it's bad news.
Yeah, because they just lock in. They don't know how to stop biting you.
If they break the skin, though, right?
Well, that is the key for them. Yeah.
I think I'm going to the hospital regardless. Going, I can't tell if that's blood or. I think I'm good.
Tiffany Zong spent the last decade studying social media habits and used the information to create the Gen Z version of MySpace called No Space. On top of going to school virtually during the pandemic, the Zoomer generation has grown up in the peak social media with algorithms dictating to what they see and who they interact with. Now they're turning away from the standard social media in search of a more authentic connection that can be found on TikTok. Like MySpace in the early years of Facebook, No Space users will have personal and customizable profile pages where they can share casual updates on what they're up to. No Space users will be able to share what they are, quote, watching, eating, reading, listening to IRL and star their interests to allow them to find people with similar interests. There are currently over 380,000 people on the wait list for No Space. Are you on there yet, Dunaway?
I have not. Never heard of it.
What we're doing is we're tired of what TikTok and Facebook, where it's like putting people together. We're doing another.
Yeah.
This one brings people together,
right?
Like yourself, and you can talk about what you
and
ate,
you know what you're going to do.
Show yourself in a bikini,
you show
like
photos, stream video, things like that.
Thing.
Yeah,
this is different from everybody else.
Yeah. You didn't go reserve. I thought you always reserved at Jim Dunaway anytime one of these started.
This is the first time I've heard about it.
Okay, so
maybe I'll go save it afterwards.
Go follow me on
heard
No
about
Space.
it. I've got Threads. I've got everything.
Jimmy Technologies.
Not heard about No Space.
Does anybody remember how hot Threads was for like 24 hours? Does anybody ever go to Threads now?
Y'all did like the first hour on it the day it came out.
Oh, it was, well, I mean, everybody was like, Twitter's dead. Threads is where you go now. And everybody went and got a Threads thing. And I don't even know, is it still operational?
I think it is.
I don't even know if I got it on my phone anymore.
Yeah. Because I will hit a thread sometimes and it takes me to the app to download it, and I just never download it.
Oh, well.
Argentinian man has become an overnight sensation in South America after reportedly barricading himself inside of a car dealership and refusing to leave without the truck he made an advance payment for.
So he paid for this truck in advance, doesn't get it, and he's like, I ain't leaving without the truck. So he locks himself in?
Abelardo, a.k.a. the Gaucho of Salta, has been making international news headlines for over 2 weeks and has become somewhat of a living symbol of the common man's struggle against the shady practices of car dealerships. Now, the middle-aged man arrived in Buenos Aires with his family at the beginning of April, went straight to the dealership that was supposed to deliver his much-needed new truck. After failing to get the answers he needed and finding himself unable to get in touch with the owner, this is when Abelardo barricaded himself inside of the dealership, refusing to leave without the truck he was promised, or at least the down payment he had made for it. Man claims that he was offered another car for the down payment he had made, but told them he was going to have to pay extra if he wanted the new truck. But that wasn't the original deal, and he wasn't having it. After bringing his whole family with him, including his daughter and minor son, as well as the rest of the payment for the truck, he decided he would not leave the dealership without it. After hours of negotiation and mediation by local police, his form of protest went viral. Unable to get the truck he desperately needed for work, he ended up getting a used one from 2021. It wasn't the newest model, but it has low enough mileage and it runs well enough.
I hope they gave him some of that money back.
I mean, you would have to think they did, right?
Yeah, like I got a new truck, made a down payment, barricaded myself, got the news involved, and you give me a 3-year-old truck.
Oh, I'll take it.
And he's wearing a cape or a rug.
Yeah.
Or a rug that
is it a blanket?
Yeah.
Doubles up.
I bet Jonathan Hardison got him the money back.
Fox 6 on your side. We've got the story of a man tonight wearing a cape, but he's not leaving till he gets his truck. Not all heroes come in capes, Pam.
Until Fox 6 on your side was able to get him out. My last thread, amazing turnout today for the Orange Beach Show. Thank you, Floribama, Old River Grill, and Coastal staffs for another amazing week. See you at the Army-Navy game.
Oh, wow. So that was back last summer.
It was August 25th, 2023.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever even threaded. I think I just downloaded it just in case.
My one before that was our third kickoff party. So we got our fourth kickoff party coming up.
You were hot
soon.
in August.
Yep.
So, Rocky, I don't know if we've got a picture of this next dude. The UK's most well-endowed man, Matt Barr.
Okay.
There's the old ruler.
There's old Matt.
He claims...
I'm sorry, Matt. I'm going to have to see it to believe it
I
now.
am just going to have to read directly here. He claims that his Titanic tallywhacker has caused him some big problems, including dating difficulties, sexploitation, and perhaps most embarrassing at all, getting booted from yoga class because people thought he was aroused. Barr, 40.
Man really likes yoga.
Quote, I'm trying to dispel some of the stigmas, he declared while discussing these hardships on a recent episode of the British talk show The Morning.
Well written.
Now, the bulging Brit reportedly boasts Britain's biggest penis, which measures more than 12 inches long when erect, more than twice the global average of 5.1 inches. This battle of the bulge has gotten him in trouble in non-romantic situations as well, including one mortifying instance where he was accused of getting aroused during a yoga class.
I would imagine it's hard for him to wear shorts, too, because at that point he suffers a Brexit.
He's got a little...
It's actually not bad. That was pretty good.
Paul Giamatti meets Oliver Platt.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out. There is some Paul Giamatti, but you're right, Oliver Platt in there, too, with the hair.
This battle of the bulge got him in trouble. He said, quote, I was wearing a very baggy shirt and shorts because of the yoga positions. People just got the wrong idea. Barr was kicked out of the class despite the cons of possessing a giant penis. The sexually enhanced man doesn't plan on getting his manhood reduced anytime soon. He said the surgery's expensive.
I would either.
Yeah, I rolled the dice on that one.
Take a couple off the top.
Yeah.
Said it cost around $19,000. Buy a used car.
Yeah. Not risking that one at all.
Do you think he has a nickname for it, like Big Ben?
Okay, you have to keep going.
Dunaway's actually pretty good at this story, oddly.
He said it's only done normally in the cases of tumors and things like that. In the case of normal function, it's not common. Barr says he ultimately hopes to dispel the stigma surrounding discussing his phallus, explaining, quote, I don't see why there's any difference talking about this, talking about your breast or any other bodily part. It's not sexualized. It's just a fact of life.
It is a body part.
Better nickname maybe would have been Buckingham Palace.
Take the B out.
We're all thinking it. We're all thinking it. Jim, you were 3 for 3 on that story. That's one of the best stories you've ever had right there.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
If you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right are here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buyer and veteran, their great service and low rates make the process easy. Speaking of veterans, they are veteran-founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home or your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right is your one-stop shop for mortgage. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call Birmingham office 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
And Champy's Chicken bringing you this hour as always, champy'schicken.com. Sorry, Sterling, if you had us on down there and you were having to eat through that last story down there. Throw everybody a free tamale out there on us there. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Comes with slaw. Starts with 3 tamales and the coleslaw. What a great appetizer. Then you jump into the brined overnight, hand-breaded chicken breast. Hand-cut chicken fingers are there as well. And don't forget the great drinks at the bar, including a homemade margarita that is a wonderful, wonderful drink down there. Date night or just a business lunch, you can do it at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. One more segment to go as we continue on today. Jaden Rashada is now a Georgia Bulldog. That is official today. That is one of the developing portal news stories that are out there. As we started the show, Keandre Lambert-Smith is with the Auburn Tigers, the veteran from Penn State. And now it looks really good about Parker Brailsford coming back to Alabama. Never left, if you listen to the coaching staff. Missed some practice time in the spring. That's because James Brockermeyer went into the portal yesterday. Much more when we come back. This is The Next Round from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent Trane dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a Trane. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by Amherst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you: Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Final segment of the show brought to you by our friends at Hemphill. Hemphill Services for your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. Man, they always keep everything running in the house, don't they?
Yeah, trust that name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Adam, Chad, and Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
What position do you think is the most drafted position in the first round tonight?
I think it will be either offensive line.
Oh, no, you got to go position there.
I'll go tackle.
Tackle could be as many as 7 tackles, could be as many as 5 or 6 quarterbacks, could be as many as 6 or 7 wide receivers. It's actually a pretty close bet there, quarterback, tackle, wide receiver.
Over the last 20 years, and we saw this yesterday in that graphic we showed you about the hits and misses, it's historically been edge rusher over the last 20 years by far and away. Edge rusher has been the most drafted position in the first round.
I think you've got 4 tonight.
Yeah, so I don't think you're going to get there with edge rusher, but I mean it's got a massive lead over the next closest position. Center has been the least drafted in the first round. Edge rusher has been the most drafted in the first round over the. That's going back to 2000. Going back to 2000.
Earlier this week, Andy Reid got a contract extension. He's 66 years old. The contract extension with the Chiefs gets him through the 2029 football season. We're going into the 2024 football season, right? Am I right about that?
We are going into the 2024 season, yeah.
Yeah. How far do you think Andy Reid goes deep? 5 more years, that would get him at 71 coaching on the sidelines.
I mean, he just doesn't seem like...
I think that's it.
You think so?
You think he goes? You make it to the end of this contract?
I mean, look,
I would go.
71 is going to be. I mean, he hasn't aged really, but you don't see a lot of 80-year-old dudes that are the size of Andy Reid.
No, I was just, size
You
aside
don't,
and health aside, I was when they won this past year, watching him in the post game and everything, the way he was acting, I thought wouldn't be shocked if we hear in a week or a month that Andy Reid's decided to hang it up, go out on top. But hats off. He's going to come back and ride this Patrick Mahomes bus as long as he can.
I'm sure it's a grind, but he's to your point by mentioning Mahomes, it's not like he's facing rebuilds and things like that. He's got the best quarterback in the game. Why would you not want to stick around and ride that as long as you can?
Who's part of an NFL football game as a player and or coach last, Andy Reid or Travis Kelce? Not necessarily with the Chiefs, but last. Who plays or coaches their last game?
I would say Andy Reid will last longer than Travis
Would you
Kelce.
now? How old is Kelce? Kelce is 34. I did not realize he was that old. He'll be 35 this year.
Yeah, I think
during the season.
Kelce's got 2 or 3 years left. I mean, look, he's got some fallback plans too. He's got the podcast where he can make a lot to money.
$5 million a year each.
I mean, if this thing works out with Taylor Swift, which I still highly doubt it will, but if it does, try to take half. He's got a lot of money to begin with.
Whoa. What do you mean try to take half? Like try to marry her?
Yeah, I'm just saying if that went down. Even if you sign a prenup, if you just get 10% of her net.
I thought you were saying marry her and divorce her for half.
No.
Oh.
No, but I'm saying.
You're saying jump in and you're fine. Yeah.
You've got a golden parachute if you marry her.
Yeah, and
I would hope her attorneys, though, got ironclad and would keep him out of that money. Not that he needs it, but.
Yeah, I mean, that I'm sure that is one of the things that attracts her to him. And I'm sure there are several, but I'm sure one of them is she probably realizes he's not a money grubber, right? I mean, he's got good money.
Right. I mean, hers is like generational wealth. I mean, his is
it's different level.
Yeah, he can take care of his great grandkids. But she's always dated people that have had money, not maybe to his level.
Yeah, but I mean, I think people that have a lot of money like that are probably super apprehensive to jump into a relationship with somebody that doesn't have any money because you're always suspicious. They're just trying to they're just trying to freeload, right? They're trying to jump on the bus.
Yeah, like I've got some relatives that she probably wouldn't date, because they probably want to lay on the couch all day.
Yeah. Now, I've also heard the saying, if you marry somebody for the money, you end up earning every dime of it.
Every penny of it, right?
Now, that's what I've always heard. Now, I did not do that. I did not marry my wife for her money. But I have always heard that if you marry somebody for the money, you end up earning every dime of it.
Hypothetically, and these are tough, but if you were not married, completely single, and had a chance to marry Taylor Swift for her money, would you do it? I think she would be the perfect wife, and here's why. She's got a ton of money. She travels all the time.
Always
you
at
can
work.
Pick your location whenever. She's writing songs. She's recording. If you didn't like her, you could spend as little time with her as you wanted. If you wanted to travel, she probably wouldn't care. You could have your own suite.
Yeah, that's the whole thing is like I wouldn't want to go on all the road trips.
Wait, that's
when
what
she's
you
on
pick
tour.
It.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
Yeah, like
let me take one of your jets. I'll meet you in Tokyo in a couple of days.
Yeah, I'm playing in the member guest, here and there. So I'm going to be out that week. But I'll meet you in Tokyo for a week of shows. Then I'm going to come back here and, I got another tournament I want to. I think you can say I play a lot of golf.
Have somebody to do your clothes all the time.
Yeah.
You'd have a private chef.
Yeah,
it'd be incredible.
So I
never see her ever.
I think I'm with Lance on this one. I think Andy Reid outlasts Travis Kelce. Andy just does not. He never seems to be a guy that
doesn't stress out too much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's a super stressful job, right? NFL head coach.
I think
but it doesn't seem like it gets him a lot.
Yeah, I think once he got over the hump, I think towards his end of his tenure in Philadelphia, he was so frustrated because they were so close. But now that he's got one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game and he's got multiple Super Bowl championships, I think it has stressed him out a lot less.
Before we do our final big thing today, the Bears, I mentioned how much they wanted yesterday, $4.6 billion. $2.3 billion of city money. They put out renderings yesterday of what the stadium would look like, the one they want there in Chicago. First of all, it is a weather-controlled stadium. Does that bother you in Chicago that they wouldn't play in the weather?
I mean, and it is open-ended, so I guess they could open it if they wanted to in the winter, or I don't know if that's glass or if they're able to open that. But I think, Jim, they pretty much – so the way these stadiums now work when they use city money is the NFL promises a Super Bowl, right? That's the way they bait the city in on tax dollars is if you'll give some tax dollars, we'll promise you a Super Bowl. And then you can go back to your constituents and say, hey, the Super Bowl's coming. That's going to be a huge financial impact for our city. So that's kind of the trade-off for the NFL. It's hard for the NFL to do that with Chicago. You've been to Chicago, I would assume.
Oh, look, showing a Final Four in it. Look at that.
Wow. It's a lot of people. You've been to Chicago, I presume, in the winter.
I have, yeah.
Would you want to go to a Super Bowl there?
I would not.
Nor would I.
I would not.
I think that's, and by the way, there's the rendering of a Super Bowl there.
Yep.
So to my point, I think that's probably why you have to build indoor, right? If you're going to use tax money, you're probably going to have to build indoor.
Now, I would tell you, reading up on this story, keep those rolling because they're beautiful. It's a beautiful stadium. But first of all, it sticks out. It's so much bigger than the old Soldier Field fronting there. Look how big it is. And those stairs to walk up into the stadium on the front.
That's a lot.
That seems to be big. But there are some museums in Chicago. When I walk up to the museum, I'm always like, God, these stairs.
I know.
Why do we build this many stairs? We're not in Rome in the BC times.
So D.B. King says, I like how it says stadium on it. We don't want to confuse.
So we're not going to name it.
Oh, we're in the stadium.
Yeah.
Okay.
They tried to, a few years ago, build a George Lucas museum down on the lakefront, and Friends of the Lakefront were able to nix that plan.
What was going to be in there? Just like
Star Wars
from all his movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was going to be a tribute to George Lucas. So it sounds like those Friends of the Lakefront have a little power. I can't imagine them building that atrocity down there if they think a museum was going to impact the lakefront.
Yeah, it does. You're right. Have you seen the modern day? Have you been down to the park and seen the modern day stadium they play in? The current one the Bears play in.
Oh, yeah.
It is such a weird-looking stadium because they use that old Soldier Field facade and built a new stadium inside of it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's they have literally put lipstick.
They have, and it looks like a UFO landed inside of Old Soldier Stadium, or Old Soldier Field is what it looks like. It is the weirdest-looking stadium on the outside. To your point on Friends of the Lakefront, I'm assuming they probably saved that because that was part of the deal to build that stadium.
Yeah, we got to keep the old
old facade,
the old Soldier
and
Field.
It's such a weird looking stadium on the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think you probably have to build a dome to get I know they played a cold weather Super Bowl in New York City,
but not Chicago cold.
Yeah. I mean, that is miserable cold if you've ever been up there.
Yeah. And the last big thing today, we didn't talk about it 2 days ago when Chris Vanini wrote the story in The Athletic. But Derek Dooley is trying to help with a push for the Group of Five to have their own college football playoff. First, do you want the Group of Five to have its own playoff?
No, not really.
You don't? I wouldn't hate it.
Well, I mean, look, if we do separate and we have super conferences and we ultimately have 60 teams playing and then you've got a separate one. I mean, I've watched some of the FCS championships before, and these would be more known brands.
Yeah.
So.
Here's what I would want to know from our viewers who are UAB, Troy, South Alabama, and Jack State fans in Alabama, and anyone else in those footprints of the Sun Belt and stuff. Do you guys want your own Group of Five? I don't want to hear from Alabama and Auburn fans. Do you guys want your own Group of Five national championship? Mike Oresco, who got the American up and running, says you instantly, by saying we're going to have a Group of Five playoff, you say we're second tier.
Well, you do,
but I think there's that perception anyway.
Yeah,
right?
there is. It is. You're owning the perception that's already out there about you. Now, my problem is, what does this do for the Group of Five berth in the actual playoff?
I would imagine this only happens if the SEC and Big Ten take that away.
And my question then would be, what's the money like for my playoff versus what's the money like for the berth in the playoff?
Well, if you wonder what Derek Dooley is doing, he is walking around pushing for private equity to help with this playoff. But as some
Saudis,
some athletic directors have said privately to Chris Vanini of The Athletic, if private equity is pushing for this playoff, private equity is going to make most of the money. How much are we going to end up getting
That's
for
right.
this?
Yeah.
Because they do get a cut of the original playoff, the college football playoff.
They do. I just view it as a Jack State alum. I view it as something that I would love for my school to be part of because I am realistic enough to know that even if my school makes the actual college football playoff, if Jack State ever made it, zero chance they could win 4 games and win the whole thing. I know that.
Well, let me ask you.
Zero chance.
Zero chance. I mean, there's
zero
not
chance.
There's zero chance.
But let me ask you, would you rather have that opportunity to make that playoff, even if you lose the first round every time, to have a chance maybe to pull the upset,
or to have a group of 5 playoff where you can go and win a championship?
I
Would you
think
rather be a chance? Basically, you're the group of 5 champion if you get that automatic bid.
I think I'd rather have the group of 5 playoff. I think I just remember as a Jack State fan when they were one of the top dogs in FCS, how exciting that was, right? And I know that was everything you played for in FCS. It wasn't like a second tier. But when Jack State was making those runs to Frisco and they were playing in those playoff games, the year they went up to Eastern Washington, Eli Jenkins got hurt. I think they could have made it was Bill Clark's year. I think they could have made the national championship game that year. Those were fun years. So I don't want to trade that off. I'm fine that they jumped up and they got in Conference USA, but I don't want to trade that off for just going to a playoff. I mean, that is just so.
But do you not see it as if you are the one group of 5 team in the main playoffs?
Yeah.
At that point, you're the group of 5 national champion, in my opinion. Could you not just say you're the group of 5 national champion?
You could, but then I go get drubbed by a team on their team on their home field.
But what if that doesn't happen? What if there's that one time you pull the upset?
So I'll pull the upset. What do I do? I'll lose the next week on somebody's field.
Yeah, but if you ever pull the upset, you are the team that your 16 beat 1.
You're Maryland, Baltimore County.
Yeah.
You beat a 16
Yeah,
seed.
I mean that's what it would be.
Yeah, I mean that's what you are. You're Maryland. What has that done for Maryland, Baltimore County?
I mean,
I just said their name, but what's it done for their program?
But what did App State beating Michigan in the regular season do for App State?
I mean,
put them on the map.
It put them on the map. They're a Sun Belt team now. They would be in this playoff.
Yeah. We'll see if it ever happens. I would imagine it doesn't happen while they still have access to the main playoffs. If the SEC and Big Ten down the road after this 2-year flexes the muscle and there's no automatic bid for the group of 5, then you got to play for something.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in on the playoff there, group of 5. As a fan, it just gives me more meaningful games to watch.
I think I would get more excited about it.
Yeah.
More things to wager on.
I mean, it gives me more games to watch that have some meaning to it.
Part of the plan would be a realignment with the AAC, Sun Belt, and Conference USA all sort of joining forces and having sort of a southern footprint of with divisions of sort of a power conference as the group of 5. We'll see if any of that happens. Big story there at The Athletic. Chris Spanini writing that story. That's our show today, NFL Draft tonight. Our draft show coming up later on, 4:30 Central Time on all our video platforms. We're at Twin Peaks in Hoover today. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.